All right. Well, this is a bit shit, thoroughbreds. Wish we could come to you on happier terms this week. But welcome back to another episode of Penalty Broncos. We are the number one Broncos podcast that we listen to. Coming to you from the Bandwagon Bar. A little bit somber affair today. We're not as yipping and yahooing and carrying on as we normally would. But, you know, we lost one out of our 3 trial games. So we won against the Falcons, we won against the Magpies, and then there was this one that we did over in England that we just came up short a little bit. I mean, I don't know if we read too much into it. But anyway, I reckon we'll move on. We'll talk about it and then we'll move on. We'll get it out of the thing. I've got the Ford Pack joining us online today. We haven't seen Langers since last season. He's had an extended off season. Ringer was here obviously last week, and that was a pretty good chat. So Langers, mate, how have you been? What's been going on?
Mate, I have been flat out hectic these last couple of months. So yes, thoroughbreds, I apologise for not being available last weekend. Work just decided to finish a project that we've been having for about 3 years on that weekend. Just didn't even. Yeah, exactly right. They didn't. They didn't ring Bretto just to make sure it was okay. Hey, as Lang is going to be recording on this day, we need to put in a multi-million-dollar project on this weekend. Is everything all good? Pretty rude of them, I thought, but it is what it is. So, you know, like 11-hour days in the Townsville heat, humidity, it just absolutely rolled me. Like I was falling asleep at the dinner table at like 6 o'clock. I was like, I can't do this. I can't give the thoroughbreds the energy that they need. So, yeah, pulled out like the coward that I am, but I am here for this one. But no, mate, my off season has been wild. I've had a new addition to the family. So all the parent thoroughbreds out there, you know exactly what that broken sleep is like. It just, it absolutely creases you. And then on top of that, my toddler has just decided that I'm waking up at 5 a.m. and I am not going back to sleep for anything and just ready to start the day, you know, like, so you got that broken sleep during the night and then just this monster just ready to roll before the sun's even up, you know, like it's, yeah. So I'm just tired, boys. That's just me for the next couple of months, but we're all dads, so we all know that it's not forever. So just sort of got to get through this little period and then, you know, it'll get better. But no, I do have a little bit of a story though, lads. So I'd like to share with you.
Hit it.
I've got the pigeon pair now. I've got the boy and I've got the girl. Spoke to Mrs. Langers and yeah, no more kids. So let's go get kicked in the wheels, right? So organise a vasectomy. Now, before you get a vasectomy, thoroughbreds, if you don't know, you got to shave your wheels. Got to get rid of all the hair on your pills, right? So I said that to the lads at work. Oh, got to shave my wheels, blah, blah, blah. 2 of the lads, they've already been there, done that. They're a little bit older. They've gone, don't shave because you're going to get ingrown hairs on your sack. You don't want that. Get the hair removal cream. Solid advice, right? Who wants ingrown hair on your sack? Terrible, right? So
in the Townsville humidity, can't wait.
Exactly right. They said, get the hair removal cream. Works much better. Perfect, solid advice. Appreciate that. So I text the missus, hey, next time you go shopping, can you grab some hair removal cream? And the legend that she is, she gets the sensitive stuff, right? So for like bikini lines, that sort of stuff. I've never done it before. Never used it in my life. So I'm reading the instructions, right? Read it. Yep, do this for this, blah, blah, blah. Repeat as required. That's the key, thoroughbreds. Just hold on to that little phrase. Right? So no dramas. Day before the vasectomy comes, straight after work, I'm in the shower, do the whole show, no dramas. Wash it off. Got a few like scraggly bits where I didn't put enough cream on that area. All sweet. I'll just wait for the kids to go to bed, you know, get the missus squared away, and then I'll just hit them again. Right? So come 8:30, everything's all sorted. Rightio, jump in the shower for round 2. The second I put that second dose on, just fire, just burning bad panic stations, right? So I washed it all off and my shit was just raw, boys, like just bad. So bad that aloe vera stung putting it on. So, you know, I'm in the trenches, right? So I go, how am I going to do this vasectomy tomorrow? Because the lads that suggested the hair removal cream also said that at the start they wash you down with like an antibacterial wash, and it stings on normal skin. So in my mind, I'm just panicking. Like, if it stings on normal skin and aloe vera is stinging on this right now, what is going to happen? So I'm freaking out, right? So anyway, go to the vasectomy. The doctor, he's got like that right level of autism, you know what I mean? Like someone that you want to be on a little bit on the spectrum, dealing with your wheels, you know, knives, sharps, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Perfect bloke that you want. So I tell him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, well, you know, we'll have a look, all good." So rightio, no drama. So I jump up on the hoist, pants around the ankles. He has a look and he goes, "Oh, it's not too bad. I've actually had blokes come in with blisters on their junk and still get this wash done." So he's like, "Yeah, they didn't appreciate the wash, and you probably won't either." Rightio, if you think it's good to go, then let's go. Right?
Yeah.
And then he lathers me up with this antibacterial wash, and oh my god, I'm just on fire the whole time. So you know when your brain is getting two inputs of different severities of pain, and then it will only really focus on the main pain, and you won't even really focus. I was in that much pain, just being on fire, that I didn't feel him put 4 needles into my show to numb it, right? Like that's the pain level that I'm in. But luckily, she's like a 20-minute procedure. It's quick as. And once the needles go in, you're numbed up, you can't feel, there's zero pain.
Yeah.
It's just uncomfortable pressure on your pills. That's all it is. Very, very, you know, so thoroughbreds, if you're scared of getting a vasectomy, just don't raw your shit and then go. You'll be fine, right? So 20 minutes in, I'm in pain, so I'm trying to get a conversation going with him. So at the end, he says, you gotta clean your pipes 20 times and then go get checked to make sure you're not still throwing liveys, right? So straight away, I've gone, what's the record? Right? So, hey, mate.
Forever the competitor.
Yeah. What's the record for one of your patients coming back the quickest after 20 pipe cleans? And without missing a beat, he's gone 72 hours. 3 days. 3 days. Thoroughbreds, that is averaging 7 a day for 3 days straight, right? That in itself, animal behavior.
But I didn't know you had a vasectomy.
Wasn't here.
You're famous everywhere, Bruno. Right, so yeah, 7 a day for 3 days straight is just animal behavior, right? Doing that directly after a vasectomy, mate, you don't need Jesus, you need to go to jail, because that is just a psycho. That is an absolute psycho doing that. So because of that bloke, the doctor has gone, I'm imposing a 2-month minimum. So, mate, you can clean your pipes as much as you want. Don't want to see you for 2 months, right?
See how one guy ruins the fun for everyone.
Ruins it for everybody, right? So, but look, I mean, I'm a little bit impressed by his efforts, but mainly scared that they walk among us. You know, they're in our society. You know, like, which is just
a white walker, literally.
Mate, just blew my mind. Like, just could not believe it. But no, apart from that, yep, got the vasectomy all done, so that's all good. And but just good to be finally being able to wrap around some footy, seeing footy on the TV again, boys. It's been a long slog. Obviously, didn't get the result that we wanted to on Friday, but you know, we'll get to that directly. But no, it's been good to finally see some footy back on the screens. But apart from that, mate, I've been good, working, got the family going, that sort of life, as I'm sure many a thoroughbred are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So, yeah, that's why we're here. That's why we do it. But Ringer, talk to me, mate. How have you been?
Langers, that's a terrible, terrible story to follow up on. I tell you what, you've had an epic off season, mate. The great Langers stallion has been gelded. I'm sure his performances will lift for the thoroughbreds from here on in. Taking his, you know, as they do to great stallions around the world, sometimes they just need to be cut to get those race wins, you know. You know, blinkers on, 2 stone lighter. Like, we've got Langers for the rest of the year, so we're in for a big year, thoroughbreds. But no, definitely nothing as exciting as that over the last week. We've had there's been a bit of flooding rain around. I've been stuck here at the house. Missus and kids are stuck away. So, not all bad, but but yeah, definitely got a pad worn between here and where I can get to the creek and back again, just like checking every couple of hours just to see if we can go explore the rest of the country. But no, mate, been pretty quiet. Not the result we wanted, obviously, on Friday. Definitely give us some excitement though in the back end of that game. Some good watching in among it, so there's some positives to take out of it. But Brito, how have you gone the last week, mate? How have you handled what's happened on Friday? Seeing some good trials on the game, looking at what the competitors are doing in the competition. Like, pretty sure you'll agree there's a few that look all right and there's a few that don't. So how have you seen it, mate?
Mate, I'm just keen to get wrapped around some footy again for another whole season. The Friday was not good. I mean, I'm excuse city still. I've moved on from the 24-hour salty bitch phase, and I'm still adamant that there was a few things going against us there. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we should just run it back next year. So we got to go back to back this year to get that to happen. So hopefully we can lift and do that sort of stuff. As far as talent, I mean, the 2 trial matches that we had back home here really excited me, Thoroughbreds. If you guys didn't get to go watch that, go and check out the Broncos YouTube channel. They're up there for the watching. VJ Samu, very nice thickie. And if you know Brito, he loves a thickie. So who else we got? Oh, we got the young blood. There's a young fella, Francis Tupu, I think you say it.
Re-signed.
He got re-signed. It's the largest junior contract, or a largest contract to a teenager ever, or something like that.
Wow.
He won't be elevated to the 30-man squad until next year. But he'll finish out his contract this year and then move into the 30 squad next year. So exciting thing there. He got a meat pie today against Logan. And it was actually pretty good. So, yeah,
good to see the club locking up some thickies in the huge wake that's going to be left by pain. But that's good positive. I like that promoting from internally to recognizing that talent, locking it up, and seeing if we can develop it. Because honestly, Madge has so far had a pretty good record of bringing players up. So happy with that.
And I mean, all across the board, like there was a couple of wingers there that was pretty good. Philip Coates obviously scored a bit of a Coates-like try up against the Falcons there, and then we got Cameron Buskowski at number 9. We got all sorts of stuff all across the park. So it was good to see Tom Duffy as well.
Tom Duffy, he's pretty impressive from what I've seen. I think that's a pretty shrewd signing from the few games I've seen of how much he's taken control of that second. Like, I know it's like essentially our junior team, but I mean, he looked nowhere near out of place as some of the young halves you've seen in the other trial matches. He looked very in control and kicked that lad. Wow.
Yeah. And again, I'm sure a couple of Thoroughbreds would have thought it last year when we did sign him. Why did the Cowboys let him go? Like, there's not like there was anything wrong with the lad. So, maybe there is. I don't know. Maybe we'll see it soon. But I never thought that he was bad at the Cowboys, and I certainly don't think he's been bad since he's been with us. So, but anyway, we will got a little bit of housekeeping. It's the top of the show. So while you're here, while you're fresh and you're concentrating, Thoroughbreds, hit the like button, hit the subscribe wherever you're listening to us. That'd be much appreciated. Don't forget, you can leave us a voicemail. We've got one today that we received in the off season. We'll go back in. It's pretty relevant. It's like after the Ashes. And I did tell him that we'd throw it on the first or couple of episodes that we had in the next season. So we'll get that one. We'll show you how easy it is, what you can talk to us about and all that. The link for that will be in the show notes, or it'll be in our bios on all our socials as well. So whenever you got a thought, just hit the record button and send it through to us.
Perfect.
If you do want to become a sponsor, please email us at admin@penaltybroncos.com.au. That email will also be in the show notes and whatnot. So, or just reach out to us, DM us, slide into our DMs, and we'll slide over into the game review that we had Friday morning, 5:30-ish kickoff, MKM Stadium. capacity of 25,586. I don't have an actual number, but I've just got written here packed because that was absolutely packed. But good to see a bit of colour in the maroon and gold too. Actually, there was quite a few getting around. So well done to whoever came to the game from over there or made the trip over. I know a few made the pilgrimage down from the island and all that sort of stuff. They've been out and about and pretty vocal. I do love the crowds, and I'll just say this: I would love it that we start doing that shit here. I know we're a bit. I know we do our own thing. We get involved and all that whenever we have to. But the singing and everything like that, like you can throw shade at the other, at the other teams and stuff via your songs and whatnot. Like, yeah, it'd be pretty surreal, I reckon. But anyway, we'll move on from that. First half result 18-4 to Hull. Second half was 12-20 with a final score of 30-24, recording a loss. Get it out of the way early in the season, I say, and we'll move on. Possession was 52% to 48%. That blew out significantly. I think it was down to like 42% for us at the first half. Completion was 89%. 34 out of 38 sets to 80%, 29 out of 36 sets. Pretty standard stuff from the Broncos. And when you think about it, during regular season, we normally, don't get as many bites at the pie sort of thing, but we sort of take advantage of it when we do have it. Average set meters, interestingly enough, 41.54 to Hull, and we punched out 53.71. Thanks to a couple of long-range efforts there from a few of the team. Tackle efficiency, 80.87% versus 89.67, so we got them there. They made 317, we made 330. They missed 48. And we missed 29. So as we go through, the stats don't really show. I mean, it was a close game at the end of it, but we all know it blew out there a little bit. So, but the stats weren't all that dreary. It wasn't all a one-sided affair, I guess you could say. They had 27 ineffective. We only had 9. In the errors, they made 5. We made 9. They gave away 5 penalties. We gave away 4. We had 3 ruck infringements to their 0. No one on report, no one in the sin bin. Kick defusal. I was pretty disappointed here. 75% Hull. We were 33%, which was. Yeah. I know the conditions. Like if you're gonna listen to my excuse city, one of them was it's 3 degrees and raining.
Yeah.
Like if I don't care how much you trained in that leading up into it. Like I know we went to Toowoomba and we did Gatton. I know it's a little bit cold and dreary, sure. And then we went over and had an opposed session against the London Broncos. Yep, fine. But if you're not playing in that shit day in, day out, and you're normally like a Townsville or a Brisbane, like that's going to be tough to sort of come to terms with. But anyway, offloads were 5. We ended up with 16 offloads. At the end of it there. We like absolutely got a hold of it on the second phase there, which, led to a couple of tries. Played us ball speed, 3.57 seconds versus our 3.73. They were definitely holding us down there. Hull used all their interchange, and I was actually praying that the final 20 was going to expose that we were fitter, and it did to a certain degree, but we only used 6 out of 8. So had a couple up our sleeve there as well. So so that's the stats for it, Thoroughbred. That's the overall sort of interesting ones. Let us know if you think that anything else stood out for you in the comments and whatnot. And I'll hand it over for Langers to go through our play-by-play as we discuss the game that was.
First one of the year, lads. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get into it. Yes, Thoroughbred. So as we know, it was Hull KR versus Broncos. Now, I'm just going to say Hull during this. I'm not going to say Hull KR. Hopefully that's all right. Hopefully that's, still politically correct and all that sort of crap. But anyway, let's get into it.
We'll upset them. It'll be right.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, right. Let's go. So, Thoroughbreds, it's like a recurring thing when I do this, that something always happens in the first minute, doesn't it? Like, first cab off the run is always first minute. And this game's no change, no difference, no change, is it? So what happens in the first minute? Oh, Corey Jensen, HIA, straight up. Just cops a
Yep.
bit of friendly fire from Mr. Haas, just on the elbow, straight onto the top of the head, and just creases him. And, like, fair enough. You cop an elbow by that man, everyone's going down. Everyone's
Yeah,
going down.
exactly.
But, so I think Corey just he lined up the elbow just because he went over for a holiday. He didn't go over to play footy, so he was just going for sightseeing.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So, yes, unfortunately, Corey Jensen, his night ended in the first minute, unfortunately, and like that boy was knocked out. He wasn't past that HIA. So, so he doesn't return for the rest of the night. Big X comes on to replace the man. So, we're not really losing anything once Big X hits the pitch. Also, during that, there was a little bit of a push and shove while the cameras were just, focusing on Jensen trying to get to his feet. Replay shows Hull's number 13, Elliot Minchella. He's the captain too. Try and throw an elbow into the head of Dean Mariner as he's on the ground. And, Reece Walsh, give credit where credit's due. He didn't appreciate that one bit. So he's come flying in, which, results in a penalty to the Broncos. So that was good, I guess. Set ends with a grubber by Reynolds that's scooped up by Katoni Staggs, and he's tackled like within 2 meters of the try line. So unfortunately, no chocolates there. Into the 4th minute, we see a knock on by Katoni Staggs. And so it's trying to come out of the Brisbane's end and just sort of takes his eyes off the ball, that whole about to catch the ball, about to look to see who he's going to pass to, and just did it too quickly. And unfortunately drops the ball. So that is the first attacking opportunity for Hull. Their set ends with a grubber that's bat dead by Dean Mariner for a Broncos dropout. Now, lads, I might get your thoughts on this one. So that dropout, Reece Walsh, he just absolutely blasts that ball straight to the defender on the 20-meter line, like, looking for a knock on or a, out of bounds sort of play. But the defender just eats it up, takes it really well. So I've got here short dropout failed, because as far as I'm concerned,
it's not over the 40, it's fucking failed. None
Exactly
from one
right,
for
mate.
the year.
if they're back on our 20 after a dropout, that is a failed short dropout. I don't care how you go about it. But
Bruno,
look,
start a tally.
I've literally started it. I've literally got it.
Yes. Yes.
So lads, previous thoroughbreds, if you listen to previous episodes, you know that I am not a fan of the short dropout. I think you should get that shit out of your game. Risk to reward, it is not there. Hopefully I won't be harping on about it this season. Hopefully, Adam will listen to this podcast and, he'll sort his life out. Tell Reece, oi mate, penalty Broncos, they don't want us doing that anymore. Let's just send it long.
Yeah.
That'll be amazing.
Perfect.
Appreciate that, Adam. Rightio, so into the 6th minute, because of that failed dropout, we see a try to Hull KR's number 10, Tom Amone. So Hull KR's number 7, Tyrone May, only just puts boot to ball in for that little upper. And then, Tom just dives on it. Kick converted, 6-0 to Hull. Lads, what are your thoughts on that one? Ringer, I'll throw to you, mate. Talk to me.
Yeah, it was a pretty lucky start for him, because he was in the motion of kicking and dropping the ball at the same time. Gets a bit of boot on it. Good on them, though. They did put the pressure on. But, like you said, in those greasy conditions, kick it to the 50 and just, that was the only way they were going to score a try. They didn't look like they were going to go through us. And they score again using the same method later. A little dink in behind in these horrible, greasy, bloody in goals that are only as big as this iPad. So, it disappointing, but I didn't think we were doing too bad. Like, it did come off the back of 2 errors, essentially. Like Katoni dropping the ball and then a failed short dropout, which is what we kind of call everything that doesn't pass a 40 from now on.
Bruno, what about you, mate? How do you see it?
Tom, I mean, he good little nuggety little number 10. He's the bloke that they brought in to replace JWH, who obviously retired at the end of the last season. Good picker for them.
Yes.
I think he should have a good season. But it was a cheeky little grubber that could have gone the other way. But anyway, we'll move on from that one. So I thought it was like, we'll get one out of the way and then that'll be it. We'll be right, But unfortunately,
how wrong we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let's keep going. So, yeah, it is 6-0 after the, 7th minute to Hull. Then into the 10th minute, Reece Walsh only just misses a 5th tackle kick from Shibasaki down the left side. So, mate, if Reece got that ball, he was in for a try. Absolutely. But, yes, unfortunately, as quick as Reece is, he just, couldn't get there in time. And the ball is taken by Hull's fullback, Arthur Morg. So, you can maybe chalk that up as a missed opportunity. I don't know. Like there was no real failings of anybody. It was good little, chip over the top by Shiba. Reece was steaming onto it. If he, had another step in front of him, he would have got that ball first. And who knows, the result could have been different, but it wasn't. So we'll move on. Into the 11th minute, see a knock on by Reece Walsh trying to take a high bomb inside the Broncos' 10-metre line. So that's another attacking opportunity for Hull. Now, at this stage, the camera shows Payne Hakeem Haas limping and the fear that just flooded my body. Yes, he's leaving, but he's leaving at the end of the season, not now. We need him for the next 9 months at tip-top. So, yes, seeing the big fella limping, just fear flooded my body, but Payne just did Payne things, didn't he? And just sort of just staunched it and just gone, I'm not injured. I'm good. So, no drama.
Payne to the corner.
That's it. Yeah. So, no, it was all good. Then into the 12th minute, see a second try of the night for Hull KR. There's a crash play by number 13, Elliot Minchala. Sees him find the line right next to the uprights. Kick converted, 12-0. Lads, talk to me. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Brito, you can start, mate.
Mate, I was a little bit of this going on in my living room at that point. I was like, shit, they're playing really good English footy. Conditions, they're used to it, and they were just doing what they needed to do to silence Reece. I thought they were doing a very good job at that, kicking high enough to and then getting the cover down so he can't really, get anything coming on the way back. But yeah, I was still hopeful. Like you said, we had that little chip over. Shiba's showing that there's no... I mean, he's old enough to not have second-year syndrome, but I mean, shit, Shiba looking good in that game. So, unfortunately, they got another one through.
Yep. Ringer, what were your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, mate, I think it's obvious. You can see at the moment that they've played 2 actual games of football. Like they're 2 games into their season. I think you can just see that little bit of clunkiness in us. And one thing about English teams, and you see it so much in all these World Club challenges, is that it's such a fast game over there where they just get to the defensive line, drop to their knees, play the ball, and just go. Like there seems to be no wrestle, which makes it's funny how that tactic works so well against Australian teams. Like you go back to Penrith, did not win one of their World Club challenges. Yeah. Like that's incredible when you think about it. And when you watch them all, it's almost the same as just they're not they're not huge forwards, but they seem to have fast feet. They get over the advantage line, they hit the defenders, and they just drop to the knees and play the ball. And it just gets us on the back foot where we're used to sort of trying to wrestle and get offloads and stuff like that. So I think that you can see that in this first half, and it definitely sort of led to that try.
Yeah, no, definitely. Right, so yes, at this point it is 12-0 to Hull. Then in the 15th minute, little cheeky stat decides to throw up on the screen. Tackled in opposition 20, Hull 14 to Broncos 2 in 15 minutes. 15 minutes in, 14-2. So I think that alone just sort of shows the level of possession and field position that, that the game has sort of been played in at the moment. So, with those sort of stats, maybe 12-0, not the worst, 14-2. That's pretty sort of significant 15 minutes in. But anyway, into the 16th minute, after a 71-metre set from the Broncos that sees them on Hull's 10-metre line, Ezra Mam grubbers straight to the fullback with no chasers in sight. Just silly decision. Absolute waste of momentum and opportunity. I've chalked that up to. So And unfortunately, it's not the only one of the game too. So we'll obviously get into that. But yeah, so it's just sort of like squandered opportunity. It was a great set leading up to that. Like, yeah, gained 71 meters that set. So definitely had Hull on the back foot, and then little brain fart by Ezra, and yeah, just squandered.
Little momentum killer.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Then in the 17th minute, Hull do 2 interchanges. So yeah, I'm not going to say their names. Who cares, really? You know, no thoroughbred gives a fuck, really. So
Same.
we'll move on. So yes, they do 2 interchanges. Into the 18th minute, 5th tackle grubber from Adam Reynolds sees Hull number 5 Joe Burgess take the ball dead for the first dropout of Hull tonight. Hull send it long to the point where it goes over Big X's head. Now, we all know how big that man is, to go over his head. And he's on the halfway line, and it still goes over his head. So
halfway is only 47 meters.
Yeah. That is what I'm That's what I'm looking for, thoroughbreds. That's what I'm looking for. Big-ass, long dropout. So, yeah, Big X gets tackled on the halfway line. Broncos set ends with Broncos number 9, Corey Pakes, getting tackled on the 1 meter line after trying to do a little, burrow through the markers. Personally, I think that was just another silly play. There was about 3 defenders there, and like they were eyes on him. They were eyes on him. They weren't looking around trying to set the defense. They were, where is the ball going? So I think he probably should have just spread it to the playmakers and seen if Reynolds can put a little bomb up for Dean or Staggs or someone in the corner. I don't know. Missed opportunity. Anyway, now the 20th minute, knock on again by Katoni Staggs, mate. So, yeah, after a lovely high kick catch from Reece Walsh, who gets crunched in that tackle, Katoni just tries to, that quick scoop and play sort of thing straight after. But, yeah, just unfortunately knocks the ball on, and the Broncos 10 meters. Just, yeah, Katoni having a shocker. 2 knock-ons in the first 20 minutes. But like you said, Bruno, it was freezing. So, you got cold hands. Your dexterity is not what you're used to. So, and it is uncharacteristic by Stags to do that sort of thing. So you probably can chalk it up to, cold fingers and whatnot. So, yes, but that still gives another attacking opportunity for Hull coming off a Broncos error, unfortunately. And then, because of that, 22nd minute, try to Hull's number 5, Joe Burgess. So, 5th tackle, crossfield kick is batted back by Hull. Then number 9, Jez Litton, he, just puts a grubber through for, Joe to sort of just jump on it, giving them their 3rd try of the night. Kick converted. She's 18-0. I'm spewing. What about you, lads? How are you sort of seeing it? Ring up, mate. You can start.
Yeah, you got to give it to him on this one. That was a good try. Like, it was good effort to get up that high, jump it back. Obviously, they're used to those conditions. Their kicking, their short kicking especially, was very good on the night. They didn't miss a mark a lot of the time with what they were putting in behind. And, Joe Burgess, I think he played in the Ashes, didn't he? He definitely got a bit of talent, the kid, and they, got it down. So, I like that. I wasn't even that angry about that try. I was just angry that it was the 3rd one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Bruno, how did you see it, mate?
I was actually quite happy with that one because he was in my multi, and so I was like, great. Now we can just that's done. Tick. Yeah, let's go. Let's get a move on because I've got you guys 13 plus. So, unfortunately, it wasn't a B, but I was pretty happy. I was like, it was a good try as well. Taking advantage, eyes up footy, did the bat back, righto, what do we do? Straight through, and good for Burgess to be there on the spot too. So, it was a good try.
Yeah, it was indeed. So, Thoroughbreds, it is 18-0 at this point. Then in the 24th minute, well, basically the 25th minute, Broncos do their 2nd interchange. Now, is it still classed as a 2nd because Corey failed? Yeah, it is still? Okay. All right, so it's still their 2nd interchange. All Blacks Tafa comes on for Big X. He goes off. And I remember the camera sort of panned to the bench, and you got Corey Jensen and Ben Hunt just like fully rugged up like this is bullshit sort of thing. And then at the same time, All Blacks obviously gets the call, bud, you're about to go on. He's got the jumper on, and he does like the Bruce Almighty in the bedroom, just the whoosh thing, and he's just ready to go. You see it in his face. He's like, put me on now. Let's go sort of thing. So that was awesome to see, a new recruit just come in, just frothing to get on.
Yeah.
That was awesome to see. And he played a good game actually, which is good to see. Into the 27th minute, bit of redemption for Katoni Staggs after absolutely steamrolling Hull number 1, Arthur Morg, forcing the error. Just monstered that lad, which was just, love to see it. Aggressive
Love to see
Katoni.
it.
We say it every year, and we love to see it. So keep it up, mate. It's good to see. Broncos scrum feed on the Broncos 10-metre line. Another cheeky little stat pops up. Tackled in opposition 20 at this point, 26-8. So she's still heavily one-sided, really. So unfortunately, that's sort of how it goes for that first 60 minutes. But anyway, we'll keep going. Into the 28th minute, try to Gemma Shibasaki for the Broncos' first try of the night. Beautiful run by Jordan Ricky to put the Broncos into that attacking territory. Beautiful run by Jordan. Crossfield kick by Reece Walsh to Josiah Karapani, who did well. Like, it was just like a catch and a flick back. He knew he was going out the side, so he's gone, I got to get rid of this ball. Flicks it back, luckily goes behind him. And then, Shibba just scoops it up and dives over for, Broncos' first try of the night. Kick from the sideline by Adam Reynolds is not converted. 18-4. Lads, how are we feeling at this point? Bretto, talk to me.
Yeah, Renault, again, I put that down to cold weather. I couldn't imagine trying to kick or trying to find your groove and get comfy to do your normal, regular routine anyway. But I liked Ricky making the break here. Good signs from Ricky early in this game, especially after the grand final, where he was very involved, very good. And it was very interesting to hear some interviews just leading up to the game where Madge was talking about when we lost Renault, we lost Hunt, we lost all that sort of stuff. And the lads are out on the field trying to sort themselves out on the go. And from what he was saying, Ricky was one of the main ones. We'll move Ricky or we'll do something. He's like, no, I'm staying in my position. You're going to do this. So they were like fixing it on the run out there, and Ricky was involved. So good thing to see him going from pretty Ricky into witty Ricky. And then, it was great to see like a little break there, little in and away. And Karapani just like levels sort of thing when it comes to the skill that little lad has. So, and good that Jamat was Johnny on the spot. So
exactly right. I like your chat about Karapani because, like, as you all know, like Arthur's he's an incredible winner, and that man is keeping him out of the team. So obviously his work ethic and training and the shit that he can do is keeping Jesse in reserve grade, which is crazy to think about because Mr. Arthurs would be able to kill it in damn near any other first grade team. So good on you, Josiah. But Ringer, what were your thoughts on Shibba's try, mate?
Yeah, great opening try, wasn't it? The great break from Ricky. We're so happy to see him obviously jumping out of the blocks early. Took him a while not a while, but there was a warming up period into last season where we didn't see that sort of involvement. And I think seeing that straight away is a great sign that they're actually going to use this incredible athletic physique on our right edge that can partner Katoni and having sort of getting that defence in two minds, because every run Jordan takes makes the defence not just go straight to Katoni. So I think it's great sign straight away. Kick across from Reece. Karapani did brilliantly well. He comes straight into my Supercoach team after that just because he's just so consistent and he's just such a trier, isn't he? Like, runs from the backfield. He's always in the right spot. He always has a 100% crack. And Gammett done his job perfectly, backed him up and put it over the line. So happy at this stage that we got that try. And seeing that there was vulnerabilities in this Hull KR team if we decided to hold the ball for more than 2 seconds and not kick it to them in the fourth tackle or something stupid like that, like we've done pretty much every set beforehand.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so at this stage, about half an hour's past Thoroughbreds. It is 18-4. Then at the half an hour mark, Hull do their third interchange for the night. Then into the 32nd minute, penalty to the Broncos for Hull's number 12, James Batchelor. I'm assuming he's Batchelor. Holding on too long in the tackle. Helps the Broncos get out of their own end. Fourth tackle sees Ezra Mann held up over the line and the ball stripped by Hull's number 9, Jez Litton, resulting in a penalty and a fresh set on their 10-metre line. New set ends early with an atrocious pass from Reynolds to Mariner that was just never on, resulting in a knock from Deng. I know Reynolds sort of got mixed up with Katoni, didn't want to do the whole Shepherd thing, but man, just drop, just drop, take a tackle, move on. You know, like that pass was never on, should have never been on, but you know, a bit of a brain fart, whatever. But yes, into the 32nd minute, the Hull do their fourth interchange for the match so far. Then into the 34th minute, penalty to Hull after Reynolds was taking too long in the tackle, sort of like the bloke sort of got up and Reynolds was just like a backpack on him, sort of like he had nowhere to go. So it was just, too long penalty. That helps Hull get out of their own end. Set ends with Reece Walsh covering a grubber pretty easily, so that was good to see. Then in the 35th minute, lads, we'll talk about this. I've got here controversy in capitals. Reece Walsh attempts a 20-40, not a 40-20, a 20-40, which I think is successful. I think it is perfect. But ref, he didn't see it that way, and he sort of ruled that it went on, 10 metres in front of the 40-metre line, 10 centimetres in front of the 40-metre line. I've got here some of that old bullshit because I think it was. Obviously, I'm salty as I'm doing the notes. What are we thoughts? I thought it was perfect. Brito, I'll start with you, mate. What were your thoughts?
For all intention purposes, it was 100% a 20-40. Like they showed one replay that I seen anyway, and I was like, you need to do more of that replay. Yeah. So, I mean, great eyes up footy from Reece trying to get that. You know, we're in trouble. Let's get it out of here and bang it downtown. More of that during the season. I'm sure we will get that. And again, with the refs, I think that they were very biased. Yes, I expected it. And honestly, I couldn't care less with the game, even if it resulted in a loss. We knew it was going to happen. That flesh wall that they put up on the fifth tackle, that was getting a bit old. You're like, guys, like, come on, sort of thing. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. And someone should, if you know, tell us in the comments. Are we playing Super League rules when we're over there, or are we playing NRL rules, or are we playing international rugby league rules? Like, I don't, because obviously in the NRL, you can't do that, and he's not pinging it. So, it was a bit interesting, that sort of stuff. But 20-40, definitely a 20-40.
Yeah. Bring up, what are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, it definitely was. Like, even though the field was 6 meters shorter than regulation, it was still a 20-40 in on the field they had to play on. So, and they didn't look at it. I'm surprised. I'd like to hear your thoughts on why teams don't have a crack at it more often. Like, you got a chance to get the ball back. Like, if it's your third tackle and you're on the 15-meter line, and you're not going anywhere. The defense is set. Like, what's the worst that can happen is the fullback picks it up on their side of halfway on his own with no support, or you get it out where even if you don't make the 40, it's a scrum, so you get a stoppage or a tap. But you got a chance to get the ball back. I don't know why some of the bigger kickers like Matty Burton, Reece aren't pulling that on, like when you're in a bit of strife, just to try and change, even if you aim for the 10 and just boot it down. And because, especially on the third, when you're coming out of trouble, your wingers are probably up if you plan your set right. They're probably trying to come up and jam you anyway to keep you in your own end. So, I don't know. I reckon it's a tactic that we should be looking at a lot more often. If you're going to, there's a chance, we got the chance to get the ball back on a short dropout, and every prick does that. Why aren't we doing more 20-40s? Like,
no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I like it. Yeah, I'd like to see it a bit more. Because, I agree with you 100%. If you're getting jammed up in your own 20, might as well have a dig, as long as obviously their wingers are up in the defensive line and you've got a shot at it, and it's only the fullback that's got to run, sideways 20, 30 metres to try to stop it, then, I don't understand why people don't have a crack more often personally. But, yes. Righto, Thoroughbreds, let's keep going. Into the 38th minute. After a brilliant break and a 60-meter run by Reece Walsh. Just that magic, like just Reece just lighting up the field. He puts a grubber in for Dean Mariner and just ends up just smoking that ball. Just pumps it, just like it nearly goes out on the dead on the full.
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately goes in the goal for a Hull 20-meter tap. Another opportunity squandered. If he had just passed the ball to Big X or whatever, then could have been a bit different. But
go to ground.
Yep, go to ground. It was an amazing showcase of Reece's speed, though. We see it within the NRL, but to go overseas and put it against, another team that doesn't play in the NRL just really highlights what that man can do. And the fact that he's 23 years old, scary stuff. He's going to go from strength to strength, I think. So good to see. Into the 39th minute, it's a knock on by Hull's number 3, Peter Hiku, after a solid tackle from Josiah Karapani. Peter Hiku is ex-Cowboys, is that correct?
Correct. Few other things as well, but yeah, last time was Cowboys.
Yeah, thought so. Broncos scrum feed on the halfway line, giving them the last possession of the half. Last play ends with a Reynolds crossfield kick to Karapani, which is knocked over the sideline by Hull's number 2, Tom Davies, putting an end to the first half. So first half, it is 18-4 to Hull. Got a couple of little notes here. Squandered multiple opportunities. I think so. Ezra putting those kicks in, no reason. A couple of, those sort of things. Maybe Reece getting onto that ball early on. It could have been a game changer, putting that grubber in a bit earlier or a bit softer, not earlier, but softer. Dean, who's catching Dean once Dean's in full flight, he's fast as fuck, boy. So, you would have thought that he would have gone over for sure. Uncharacteristic handling errors from Tony Staggs. We've already spoken about that. Pretty sure it was the cold. We're talking up to that anyway. Too erratic when they got into attacking field position. So that was more aimed at, Ezra and just trying to score, every opportunity. Reynolds passing that ball that didn't need to be passed. Ezra and Paddy, I noticed, swinging arms a few times. So, I thought they were very lucky to not get a bit penalties for it. But that changes in the second half, as we were about to find out. Last little note out, looked cold as fuck there. And I think that's true. You got the bench and they're all proper rugged up and they're doing these ones. And it would have been cold as shit there. So it is what it is. 18-4 at halftime. Lads, what were your thoughts on the first half? Ringer, mate, go for it.
Yeah, mate. Obviously disappointed the scoreline, and like you said, back too early last year, Broncos trying to score, die with the ball. Ezra didn't have to kick it, I don't think, when he did. It's when no one was, fullback was in position and no one seemed to know about it. Renault, like you said, that behind the back pass, it probably should have just died with it. Reece with the grubber, multitude of things. But I think the thing that is the most disappointing is that it shouldn't have been 14. We should have stopped one of those, either the crash over try or the grubber in behind one, the kick cross field after the bat back. You're not, 9 times out of 10, you're not stopping them. That's just good footy. If we stop one of the others, and it's 12-4 going into halftime, makes a huge difference. But we have to remember that this is the first game of our year. You watch the preseason and how shit some of those teams, it's rust. It's just not coming onto the hands properly, blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't too disappointed in it, to be fair. I just thought if we could have stopped one of them, we're in a way better sort of position, because we did get ascendancy when we decided to play footy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Bretto, how do you see it, mate?
Yeah, I wasn't too disheartened as they went into the sheds. I was like, okay, again, everything that Ringer just said, put it down to a bit of rust and all that. But I'm like, these guys will go back into the sheds, go, what are we doing? Let's go out. Let's do what we're going to do, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that was pretty evident at a small period there. What was interesting as I was looking through the stats, though, at the end of that was they'd used 4 interchanges. They had one injury, so their fullback had to come off. I did not end up finding out what happened to Arthur Morg, whether he did a peck, but it did look like a bit of peck. Yeah. So I haven't got that confirmed, but that was one. But, we'd used two because we had Jensen come off and then Oblex came on. So I was like, maybe in the last 20, maybe they're front loading all their energy. They want to blow us out of the water and then they'll just defend their way to a victory or something like that. So maybe we can extort that at the back end of the 20. So that was my hope anyway, going into the second half.
Yeah. I think, everybody sort of had the dream was still alive, I think
definitely.
Yeah. The odds were, Broncos heavy favourites. So I think it probably took a little, everybody a little bit by surprise at the scoreline. But Hull came to play. It was their third game. So, they are gelling as a team. So, it is what it is. But Brito, you got some stats there for the first half, mate?
I guess just a couple there. Like the runs were 100 to 71. So when I say there's thoroughbreds, it's Hull first and then us second. So we didn't have as much ball. I think the possession was 89% or something like that. Or anyway, it was fairly lopsided. I don't actually have it here. But it's 90% completion rate versus 77%. So they were doing really, really well in the conditions. They were executing, they were getting to their kicks and doing what they wanted to do. Line breaks was interesting enough, though. We actually had them beat 2-3. So limited possession, but we were getting through. 90, where was it? Penalties were 3-1, errors 2-5, missed tackles 11-13, which I thought was also interesting. They weren't actually creeping up there as much as I thought they were. Tackles 154-180. Offloads were 3-4, so we were already sort of beating them there thanks to Payne and a few of the other guys. Tackle breaks 13-11. And post-contact meters were 259-218. Make of that of what you will, thoroughbreds.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Rightio, let's get into the second half because it gets a little better, I guess, in a way.
It got a lot better, just not the best.
It got a lot better. Like, end result, no good, but it's easier reading for me, that's for sure.
100.
Right, let's get into it. Second half, Broncos kick off. 41st minute, penalty to Hull for a high shot by Jordan Ricky on the fourth tackle too, so giving Hull just great field position. Then into the 43rd minute, penalty to Hull for a high shot by Paddy Carrigan. So I already said that, in my halftime there. On Hull number 9, Jez Litton. Fair enough, he is not the tallest of blokes, old Jez, but gotta sort that shit out, Paddy. Inside the Broncos 10-metre line. Set ends with a grubber that goes dead for a 20-metre tap from the Broncos. Good D from the Broncos, I thought, to do a whole set basically on their line. They defended really well, so thought that was good. Little note here, blatant forward pass in that set that goes unpunished. And look, I'm watching it at work, right, on Friday. Like, got to work Friday. I go in early and I'm watching on my iPad, see that, and I blow up, right? Like, what the, you know what I'm like, right? So, but blatant forward pass goes unpunished. So I'm like, okay. Sort of.
This is what we're doing, is it?
Brito's the ref, a bit of favoritism going, rightio. We'll see how this sort of pans out, right? So, anyway. Also in that 43rd minute, Broncos do their third interchange. Benny Hunt, he comes on for Corey Pakes, who goes off. And then into the 46th minute, Hull do their fifth interchange. And then a minute later into the 47th minute, Broncos do their fourth interchange with our boy Ben Tulty. Comes on, public halfway goes off, well-deserved break. I thought he was really good while he was on. Then back to the 43rd minute, penalty to Hull for a high shot. No, wait, you put that in twice. Never mind, we'll move on. 47th minute, another wasted opportunity by Mam, who decides to grubber on the fourth with 0 players running onto the ball. So ball goes straight to Hull's number 6, Mickey Lewis. And then I've got a little note here. Does Mam have money on Hull to win? Opportunities here. What's going on? Investigation into your finances, please, sir. But no, just another bit of a brain fart. Nothing was on. No need to grubber it. It was like fourth tackle. could have just taken the tackle and, given us a fifth tackle option. Second one by Ezra. So, I wasn't feeling him at all at this point. Into the 49th minute, fifth tackle play down the short side from Reece Walsh, sees him past again with Shibasaki, who comes just like agonizingly close to planting that ball down on the chalk. But yeah, unfortunately, comes up short and loses the ball in the process. So, you could chalk that up to another missed opportunity if you want. No one's fault. He just got tackled before he could, plant it over the line. But, you give him another foot, there's a 4-pointer for us. So, we all know how it ends in the end. So, you think if you do have those little things and maybe momentum shifts, they don't get these tries that come up, might have been a different story. But it wasn't, so we will keep going. Into the 50th minute, we see a try to Hull's number 4, Oliver Gildart, after a failed bomb defusal from Dean Mariner. High kick contest sees Mariner spill the ball and just straight down the throat to
Couldn't get any better.
Reece Martin, who just passes it to Oliver. Oliver goes over for the Hull's 4th try of the night. Kick is converted. It is 24-4 at this point. How are we feeling, Brito? How are we feeling?
It was a no try because it was a double knock on. That's how I see that one. I can't.
Yeah,
I think there was a comment.
Yeah,
I think even Brandy might have mentioned that they were lucky to get away with that one. And at this point, I'm just like, I fucking love the bunker, eh? I miss the bunker. But yeah, that was a hard one for me to swallow. I think that was a no try.
Yeah. Yep. No, I'm with you. I love the one eye. But it probably could have been looked at a bit closer than it was, for sure. And once again, one of those calls that, could have swung the momentum a different way and, we could have been all smiles instead of all sad. But it is what it is. Ringer, how'd you see it, mate? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it, that it's that 12-point shift. Gamut's like that far away. A bee's from putting it down up the other end. It's only a minute and a half later that we cough up. And not only did I think the same, there was definitely touches in that aerial contest. But, Dean's got to take those. I'm sorry. You want to be, if we want to be top level, your wingers have got to take those. But for that ball to bounce almost without breaking stride into Reece Martin's hands, well, it didn't break stride. He didn't even have to reach for it and then just pop it off. A lot of ducks lined up in a row there for that try, where we should have been having a 6-pointer at the other end. Anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, I think it was definitely a double knock on, but we need to just take them and take it out of everyone's hands.
Yeah. Agreed. But yes, Thoroughbreds, it is 24-4 after 50 minutes. We've got half an hour to play. It's not looking good at this stage, but we all know what happens, so let's keep going. Into the 53rd minute, another cheeky little stat throws up on the screen. Completions, Hull 27 out of 29, Broncos 16 out of 22 at this stage. So 93% versus 73%. So, the stats are definitely indicating the scoreline at this stage. So not great, but we'll keep going. 54th minute, we see a 40-20 by Hull's number 6, Mickey Lewis. Look, like we said, Thoroughbreds, we'll give credit where credit is due, and that was a good kick. It was a great kick.
Yeah.
You saw it. There was, the wingers were up in the defensive line. Reece was in the middle of the field. He had to run, 40 meters sideways to get to the ball. And, just sort of great kick. Credit where credit's due. But we'll move on. Into the 55th minute, we see a try to Hull's number 3, Peter Hiku. Absolutely nothing on for the Hull's fifth tackle. They're just like, what do we do sort of thing. And then number 7, Tyrone May, just decides to put a little grubber through for Hiku to dive on, score their 5th try of the night. I did notice watching that back, old Shiba was about 10 meters in front of the defensive line there trying to, just shut down that one attacker, I guess, his attacker. But then, that created the hole for Mr. May to put that grubber through. So, Shiba, as good as he is, he doesn't have that turn of foot speed to, create a hole that size and then cover it instantly. He doesn't have that sort of speed. So Hicker goes over, kick is converted. It is 30-4, and I am panicking at this stage. Bring up, how you feeling, mate?
Swearing at this stage a lot at a blowout, thinking how much money I could have made out of a Hull KR 20 plus scoreline if we put that on early. Anyway, luckily we didn't. But yeah, Shiba's got to get that shit out of his game. We've seen it. There's points in last season where we see this. The fifth tackle part that's got me. There's no need to be flying out of the line when we had them marked man for man.
Yeah.
To try and stop something on the fifth, because what it does is it drags Karapani out of position too, because he thinks if he gets around Shiba, I got to stay on my winger. I can't cover for a kick. So yeah, it's one of them things that he just does every now and then. So I don't know where it comes from, and I don't understand why he does it, especially on last tackle where like the chances of them running it are pretty low and move up as one and make them kick it and we can sort it out with our wingers. But anyway, yeah, so hopefully we get that out. But once again, great kicking. Like this Hull KR team in this slippery, boggy, fucking almost like the Winter Olympics aren't far over. So, it's cold as ass. And their kicking game, their short kicking game was so pinpoint. So good on them. We were just not good enough at this stage.
Yep. No, agreed. It is 30-4 at this stage. Thoroughbreds 55 minutes in. It's not looking great, but we all know what the Broncos can do. We've all seen it. We saw the whole finals last year. They did it every game, didn't they? So let's keep going. 57th minute, Hull do their 6th interchange for the night. Then in the 59th minute, another cheeky little stat pops up. It's not good for the Broncos fans. Tackled in opposition 20 metres in the second half. Hull 13, Broncos 1. So she's just rinse and repeat for the second half for us, isn't it? Second half run meters, Hull 352, Broncos 217. So she's, another 50% on it. So not great. But here we go. This is where the dessert's been through 60 minutes of veggies. Now let's get into some good shit. In the 60th minute, we see Broncos' 5th interchange. Xavier Willison goes on for the chicken man, Jack Goss. He goes off. Then into the 61st minute, our boy, Ben motherfucking Talty, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Mate,
boy.
good was that run? How good was that break? So good. Just sees him just storm up the field. Draws the defender, passes to Paddy Carrigan, who goes over for the Broncos' second try of the night. I do have a little note here that I would like to just touch on. Where the fuck was his support? Paddy was the only one within miles. Two forwards just, supporting each other. Where was our Ferraris, as Mr. Ringer has put it? Thought that was pretty disappointing, that happened on, the halfway line. And by the time it to the try line, there was still nobody around him. So I thought that was sort of disappointing and uncharacteristic because you got, obviously, Josiah. He's quick on the feet. We all know how fast Dean and Reece are. So, I was definitely expecting a little bit more support there. But luckily, Paddy was there. He got the job done. And you see Paddy, he got the ball, and he was still looking to pass as well. Like, he didn't even look. It was just like, someone else, please. Like, I don't know what to do here. Well, that was his 5th try ever or something. Yeah. So good on him for getting the meat pie, for sure, and good on him for supporting old Benny. But, yeah, great break by Benny, I thought. Kick converted. It is 30-10. Lads, how we feeling? Brito, talk to me.
Surf thickness got me out of my couch with that run. I on the camera angle, I seen the gap. I was like, "Oh, is he gonna?" And then he got his way through. I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." Love that from the big man. Love the support from Paddy. I legit think that's his second try. It doesn't come around very often, so no wonder he looked a bit out of the water for what he was trying to do there. But I had obviously the socials open as I was watching the game, and I could see the comments starting to filter through, like, we talk a lot of shit here, thoroughbreds, and you do need to eat a bit of a shit sandwich every now and then. And it looked like we were going to have to start doing that. So a few comments came through, and then there was one in particular that came through about one of my comments aging like milk or something like that. I think it was just as Ben sneaks his nose through the line. So I took a screenshot of that. I'm like, fuck, I hope I can reply to that in 20 minutes or so. But it has been left unreplied. But anyway. But yeah, I was very excited. And take a note, 61st minute. We'll take a note of that 61st minute, and we'll come back to it in a short time.
Yes, sir. It's Ringer. How are your feelings, mate?
Mate, love a big thickie making a break, and good on him. He's fresh on the field. He spotted the gap, I think, between the A defender and behind the markers. Absolutely pinned it through there. And I think the support question comes down to Benny Hunt is probably not expecting it. He's setting up for the next play. You got Adam Reynolds on that side as your half, so Adam's not too much keeping up. So it was on Katoni or Jordan, and they were just like, shit, Tolty's made a break here. We're in fucking trouble. So the big boy just had too much speed for him, mate. I'm putting it down to. But yeah, love to see it. Good to see. Once again, let's run direct and hard at these players that don't handle NRL every weekend, and God forbid we might get some results.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Rightio, this is the fun part, thoroughbred, so let's keep going. It is 30-10 at this stage, and then 2 minutes later, 63rd minute, Broncos go bang, bang, and the spirits of just all thoroughbreds around the world they lift, don't they, you know? Like, here we go, we're doing this. The fire in the belly, it starts to ignite a bit bigger. So, yeah, beautiful play by Reece Walsh, who draws the defenders, throws a cutout pass to Dean Mariner, Dean Mariner, fast. He's fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Runs, beats his winger, and then he's just got him and his fullback and just goes, I'll pass. No, I'm going to run around you. And then, does that. Goes over for the Broncos' third try. Kick converted from the little general. It is 30-16 with 17 minutes to go. How are we feeling? At this stage? Ringer, do we believe?
Well, after bang, bang points like that, you start to think, we got a chance here. Same thing. It seemed like all of a sudden the boys went, and this is like been a theme of late last year. Shit, we better pull our heads in here, otherwise we're going to get beat. And then decide, look at all these gaps if we, use all this amazing talent we have. Dean wheels, like he gets slept on so much in the conversation for, one of the fastest players, like just for balance, because the way he gets around the outside there, and then, he just looks so smooth on how he moves and never looked like fucking it up, thank God. So, yeah, glad the boys went back to back. It really, you get up early, you're going, okay, come on, boys, let's get on here, and you're down 30-4. She's a bit flat on that second cup of coffee, isn't it? And then next thing the boys go bang, bang, you're like, oh, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I can see how Brito done 20 in 72 hours right now.
Yes. Brito, how'd you see it, mate? What are your thoughts? How are you feeling?
I was getting very chirpy at home. I was like, here we go. We're just going to do this again, are we? Toughest role in the world has been a Broncos supporter. But, it was good to see Dean still keeping up with what he was doing on the grand final. Very quick, very elusive, old twinkle toes. And like I said before, keep it, 61st minute, and then we're at the 63rd minute. I was like, we got time here to sort of, 30 points may not be enough to keep us out. So, I was getting excited. I was like, I was also like, just please make it a close one. So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, yes, it is 30-16 with 17 minutes to go. Also in that 63rd minute, Hull do their 7th interchange for the night. Then into the 65th minute, we see a knock-on by Hull after a very sloppy play by the Broncos. I think, Broncos were lucky that, they knocked on that one because there was sort of nothing going on. It was sort of very, jumbled up and no real structure. And Hull were just lucky that or unlucky, I guess, that they just dropped the ball, and we were lucky that they did. So gives the Broncos great field position. And yes, we capitalise on it because in the 66th minute, we see the second try of the night to Shibasaki. Beautiful cutout pass by Reece Walsh to put Shibba into a hole, crosses over, made it look easy, made it look like a training drill. It was that good. Like, we all know Reece's cutout pass is elite, hits Shibba on the chest really well. He just goes over, hits that hole, no real dramas. I am animated, to say the least, at this point. We've just gone bang, bang, bang. It, like, all the momentum, we are running downhill at this stage, and Hull just sort of have no answers to us at all. Then the kick hits the uprights, doesn't it? So it is not converted. It is 30-20 with 17 to go. This is the part two where old Ezra Mammy does the wank gesture to the crowd. Is he in trouble on that one? I'm not sure. I thought I did see that there was a little bit of controversy, but I don't know. Is he going to face a fine or something? I don't know. I haven't seen anything, haven't heard anything about it, so hopefully not. But yeah, lads, how are your thoughts on Shibba's try? Ringer, I'll start with you, mate. How do you see it?
Yeah, it's the cutout ball for me, isn't it? That's a Reece special. Runs to the line, all the defence is watching the magic. What's happening in this hand? Next minute, the other hand takes your wallet. But and all props to Shibba. When that play is on, he steams into the hole. Like he knows his line. He knows where he has to be, and he's right on that advantage line where the ball, if he catches it, he's through the line. If you know what I mean, like it's that pinpoint. So yeah, so happy to see it, mate. Shibba could have scored 4 in this game. Like we've already talked about the one where he just missed, and there's one coming up later where it was B's way too. So
yeah, no, definitely. Bretto, what are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I was up and about for sure. I missed the whole Ezra Mam thing. I don't know what happened there, but I didn't see it until after the game when there was an article being released, and the media were calling that he should be dropped and sacked and blah, blah, whatever. But yeah, that's when it came up, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even, whatever. I haven't heard anything of it since, so I don't think anything's coming out of it. So, but yeah, the ball, it was a great, absolute brilliant ball from Walsh. And, once again, Shibba showing that last year wasn't a fluke, and he does intend to back it up. So, keen to see how that combination goes this year. And I've got, I'm putting my nuts on the line in about 20 minutes or so, Thoroughbred. So hang around for that when it comes to a couple of calls for the season. But I was looking at the clock and I went, these guys haven't fired the shot in about 10 minutes. We've fired every single shot so far. So surely we can, I expected them to wrestle it back. But yeah, I was hoping that we were still in a chance to get it done.
Yeah, no, definitely. She's 30-20, 13 to go. We can get this done. 2 converted tries should be easy, right? So yeah, I think everybody was of that opinion watching the game. Like, yeah, we've got this in the bag here. But yeah, so then a few cheeky stats throw across the screen. In the last 10 minutes of play, tries, Broncos 3, Hull 0. We know that. Possession, Hull 33%, Broncos 67%. Completions, Hull 2 out of 2, Broncos 6 out of 6.
Yeah.
And this is a good one. Run meters, Hull 32, Broncos 309. Now, I think those stats just go great stats. And I think it just goes to show what Broncos can do when they do actually get good possession, good field position, complete their sets. We are the premiers for a reason. Once you can sort of get that momentum rolling, mate, there's not too many teams in the world that can keep up with that sort of stuff. It's just the first 60 that kills us. We just need to work.
Yeah, exactly. It's the first 2/3 of the game that really fucks us up.
Yes, indeed. Into the 69th minute, strong tackle from Ben Talty sees Hull's number 7, Tyrone May, lose the ball on the 5th. Great opportunity for the Broncos with a scrum feed just inside their half. First tackle, Broncos get a penalty for a dodgy tackle on Katoni Staggs. It was like a head slam, crusher, past the horizontal type deal. It wasn't great. But yeah, so even bigger opportunity for the Broncos. Unfortunately, set ends with Reece Walsh just throwing the ball over the sideline due into, great pressure from the whole defense. I think it was, I don't know who it was actually. I think it was their center just runs up and just doesn't give Walsh any time, so he just quickly grabs the ball, throws it, trying to do the old rainbow pass over to Dean, and just sort of messes it up, throws it over the side. So, you can chalk that up to another missed opportunity for the Broncos for sure. Into the 73rd minute, Broncos do their sixth and final change of the night. Chicken man Jack Goss, he comes on for our boy Ben Tulty, who goes off for a well-deserved break. Into the 75th minute, like you said, Ringer, Shiba goes agonisingly close to scoring his third try, or potentially try of the night. Lovely little chip kick from Ben Hunt sparks a little foot race between Shiba and Hull's number 2, Tom Davies. Both get their hands on the ball, which makes it sort of like pop up. Tom Davies then falls over, so it's just Shiba just juggling the ball, running towards the try line, and then just gets knocked by covering defence by Hull's number 6, Mikey Lewis. So drops the ball over the line. But like if Shiba just got a hold of that ball on that first juggle after, him and Tom, they clash, they both touch it, it goes up. He then juggles it like 3 times. If he just caught it on that first one, he would have been able to hold it, and then he probably would have been able to withstand the knock from Mikey Lewis, and could have been a game changer, could have been a bit different, but here's what it was. So yes, also then Hull do their 8th and final interchange for the night as well. Then into the 76th minute, penalty to Hull for another high shot by Jordan Ricky. So that's the second high shot by Jordan. Hull's got a kick for big field position and end up keeping the ball in field for Dean Mariner to take on the sideline. I've got here coach killer type stuff. Because,
poor old Willie Peters, bro.
Oh, mate. You were just
having the World Club challenge in the bag, and all he had to do was kick it out.
And you've got the opposition just steamrolling home. You've got a couple of minutes to go. You know what the Broncos can do. And old mate tries to kick for an extra 20 metres of field possession and ends up keeping it in. Mate, coach killer type stuff. But does give us another opportunity. And don't we capitalise on it? Because in the 77th minute, try to Katoni Staggs. Broncos capitalise on the opportunity by spreading it through the hands to the right on the 5th for Katoni to beat Hull's number 9, Jez Liddon, for pace. Kick from near the sideline is not converted. 30-24, 3 minutes to go. I'm still all about it. I'm like, all right, we're just going to get it another try, convert that one. We're into overtime. We're rolling home. They will have nothing in Golden Point. We have got this dramas. We just need another formality try, and we're in. 3 minutes to go. We can do this. But lads, what were your thoughts on that one, on Katoni's try, Brito? How do you see it, mate?
It was good to see Staggs get over. I know the Gronk had him for a double, so he was trying to wrangle 2 Staggs there, but good to see him get over again. And Mikey Lewis probably wanted to crawl into a hole and disappear when he I couldn't believe, because it went off screen, obviously. And then next thing I see Mariner just scooting back. And I was like, he's got the ball here. It didn't even look, it wasn't even close to going out. So it took about biting off a bit more than you could chew, sort of thing. But
definitely
good to see that we capitalised as well immediately. Got the job done. But 77th minute, missed kicks. I'm looking at all the missed kicks. I'm like, it'd be tied up by now. We'd be going to Golden Point in our first game, sort of thing. And then, of course, Excuse City starts to creep in, and I'm starting to think in that mind. So, the way I look at it, I was like, 24 points up against the reigning Super League premiers. I thought that was could have been 30 points as well, plus Shiba's, couple of bomb tries and whatnot. It looked very different, but That was my. I was in denial at this point.
Mm.
Yeah.
A long river in Egypt.
Yeah. Ringo, what about you, mate? What are your thoughts with 3 minutes to go, down by 6?
Oh, yeah, definitely like excitement, thinking exactly what you're thinking. We roll upfield, we're going to score here. Like we're not going to let this get to us. Like essentially, we could have scored 32 points in a half of football if Gamet gets his two. So like pretty ridiculous. Shouldn't be putting yourself in that position, but we love to wrangle the Stags. We love to wrangle the Stags to get at any time. Yeah, and it was good play. It was just good straight up meters play. And yeah, that poor kid that didn't kick that to the touchline, he would have felt about as big as bloody Langer's testes after a bloody vasectomy, poor bastard, because he, and you could see like you just see it just when they of course the camera goes straight to him after Katoni scored. Like the colour's just gone. He's like, if I've lost the World Club Challenge here because I fucking look for an extra 10 meters, I'm going to jump off something really high.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think he probably was one of the best for Hull.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Terrible decision by him just to try to
Poor
put
fella.
as much hurt on that ball as possible. So, yes, rightio. Let's keep going. We don't have much to go, Thoroughbreds. 78th minute, hectic fifth tackle play from the Broncos sees the ball go through what seemed to be about 50 pairs of hands before Big X makes like a little break. He passes it to Mam, who grubbers it through, but unfortunately it goes dead for a Hull's 20-meter tap. But I wasn't mad at that decision by Mam. It was on, I guess, just the grubber was probably a little bit too hard. And, if you think it was just a little bit lighter on the boot, then you had Reynolds and Karapani would have been, contesting Tyrone May for a try there, or would have had to make May, bat it dead for a dropout sort of vibes sort of thing. But is what it is. Cheeky stat at this point, line breaks. Broncos 7, Hull 2. So sort of says a bit there. And in the 79th minute, with 24 seconds to go, Hull chip over the Broncos defence for their fifth tackle play. Reece Walsh catches it, and then he just starts to do that Reece Walsh magic, doesn't he? He's dancing around, he's skinning defenders, he's doing that thing, and, everybody's like, here we go, this is it, this is the moment. And then, he dances around, he dances over to the left edge, throws a rainbow pass over to Karapani, and look, fair enough, it was in front of Karapani by a lot. It wasn't a forward pass or anything like that, but it just was. Karapani had a lot of work to do to catch that ball. Fortunately, he doesn't. He does get fingertips to it, so it is classed as a knock-on. And that is with 11 seconds to go, and basically everybody just runs down the clock. Hull just starts celebrating, crying, kissing their dads on the lips. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is full-time Hull 30, Broncos 24. It is what it is, but yes, I've got some full-time sort of notes here. I've got Hull deserved the win for the way that they played in the first 60 minutes. Look, you can be a diehard Broncos fan, but I think, if you give credit where credit's due, they did. They outplayed us. The stats don't lie. The score didn't lie.
Yeah.
Getting up 30-4, you sort of deserve that win. Uncharacteristic conversion rate of 2 out of 5 by Reynolds. Brito, you touched on that. If he had got all of them, we're looking at overtime. They didn't. But anyway, Broncos squandered multiple opportunities, which, if capitalised on, would have seen us win comfortably. So, going through it, obviously, Shiba, he could have got 4. But, you look at it, and Mariner could have got 4 as well. Like, he obviously got that 1. Yeah. And then you've got Reynolds' pass with the Katoni Stags muck up, potentially, his second. Then you've got Reece's grubber, his kick after he makes that break just before half. That could have been his third. And then the rainbow pass that goes off the sideline by Reece in the second half as well. So that's potentially 4 for Mariner as well. 4 for Ship or 4 for Mariner. Potentially. So, yes, definitely multiple opportunities were missed there. I've got Mam doing stupid shit cost us. Definitely, he definitely squandered opportunities just by doing his little brain farts there. Ricky with multiple high shots, that definitely didn't help, sort of killed a bit of momentum and our way and gave Hull a bit of momentum their way. Cheeky stat that threw up on the TV after the game. Broncos lose their 4th straight WCC final. That's a rough stat. Rough stat.
Yep.
That's rubbing salt wound on that one. So yeah, bit rough there. Great head out from Ben Tolte. No one's going to disagree with that one. Hope we see a lot more of him this season. Hope he gets a lot more game time this season, because it'd be good to see what he can do, with some decent minutes under him. Hopefully we get to see that. Hopefully the lads can learn from this and be ready for the Panthers in a couple of weeks. And as always, Broncos 13 plus next time we play. But
Yes,
yeah, lads,
sir.
what are your thoughts on the entirety of that game? Ringer, mate, we'll start with you. How you feeling? How do you see it?
Yeah, obviously very disappointed, Langers. It's one of them things. Like, Australian teams don't win World Club Challenges very often, which I think now really comes to my point where let's just play the bastards in Vegas so we can play a few trial games here. They can play a few season games. We both get to it hot, ready, ripping to go. It brings a bigger part to Vegas, like a big proper game to Vegas, brings the English crowd. Anyway, that's for future. We weren't good enough for 60 minutes. Like, in reality, we only had to hold one of them out and take one of our opportunities, and we get away with that game. Like, I think we left about 24 points on the table in that game when you take in the 3 missed conversions and the 3 genuine, like 2 Shibba ones and one from Reece's kick that probably, it was probably a certain try if either the kick was good or he just, threw a ball to Mariner. So, yeah, it's just one of them ones where we should have done better. But Jesus, it's hard to be angry at how dangerous they decided to look when they wanted to play. So we won't dwell on it. That's for true. Like, it's only been since Friday, so I'm guessing we're going to get over it by tomorrow. But yeah, it was just an opportunity lost. I think that's the most disappointing thing. But we move on. I don't think we look bad when we decided to play football. Tolte was great. Paddy was really good. Ricky was good, other than his eye shot discipline. Yeah, I think across the park, I think the boys will be ready.
Yeah, definitely. Brito, how do you see it, mate? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go back to what I've repeated this entire episode, is that 24 points, freezing conditions, first game out. When we wanted to, there was a brief period there where we were unbeatable. And we smacked on the points. And Ringer mentioned it on the last episode about playing it in Vegas, and around about when Stags went over, I had a thought, and I was like, imagine if this was in Vegas. It's for the World Cup challenge. We can tell the Americans that this is for the best club team in each area.
Yeah, the World Series.
Yeah, World Series. And, it's the 77th minute, and the Broncos are on an absolute tear coming back from 30 foot down, sort of thing. Like, just, it all writes itself, sort of thing, for a great spectacle. So, and I've also thought about it for about a week, and like, yes, the Panthers would have been in Vegas 4 years in a row. Who gives a shit? It's the best thing for the game. If you want to be there in Vegas, if you want to book a spot for Vegas, win the premiership. Like, it's as simple as that. So, and like, let's be fair, NRL's probably kicking themselves with the teams that they sent over this year. So, looking at you, Lincoln. Those bloody Knights. But yeah, a couple of standout stats, and Shiba, like, we've been harping on about him. He's tackle breaks 10, post contact meters he topped out with 81. But he had 2 errors, but I mean, he was in everything and having a go. Walsh got out 240 run meters. Karapani had 20 runs. Walshy went 2 in line breaks, 3 in line break assist, and 2 in try assist. So I thought, great hit out I seen another comment online. Oh, rocks and diamonds, Reece. I was like, she's a fuckload more diamonds at this point than it is rocks, sort of thing. He had 2 errors. Could they have been avoidable? I don't know. It seemed like he started the game a little bit out of his head, and then as the game went on, he started to mature in real time and switch on a bit. So that was good to see. Paddy got out 50 of the best, 50 tackles for the whole game, and Haas, did Haas things and got 5 offloads away. So, overall, I liked the first half. Shit, absolutely shit, and the stats were appropriate. But then by the end of the game, it all leveled out. Everything cream rose to the top a little bit. We just left our run a little bit too late, and Hull got a couple of good tries in there with some good football. So can't really be angry about it. And I actually think that game, I think that the rest of the NRL clubs looked at that game and went, fuck, like we're in for a bit of a, this is fucked sort of thing. So I'm hoping that round 1 we show up. I know the Panthers are possibly looking without a Cleary. I think they are. He's pleaded guilty, but I think they're going to the tribunal anyway to try and get his match downgraded. So we'll see how that pans out and if he is there. But I don't know. I'm pretty excited for round 1. I don't know about you lads, but it's going to be painful to watch Vegas and see them and have a crack, and we got to wait an extra week until we even get a team list Tuesday. But anyway, good signs ahead, I reckon.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, we're going to punch into some accountability. We're going to put Langers, can you put your nuts on the line? Are they still sensitive?
A low blow, but I like
it. But no, we're going to get into our predictions for 2026. Last year, at this point, we did both the NRL and NRLW, but we will do the NRLW as we get closer, because finding out who's in what teams at this point of the season for the NRLW is a fucking shit fight. So we can't really get anything sort of there. We will do, like we did last year, we'll do the top 4, so who the premiership threat is. I'll punch out the Gronks. He's gone Panthers for minor premiership, followed by the Bulldogs, followed by Broncos, and then Eels. And I'm kind of glad that is the case, because I've gone Broncos for the premiership, the minor premiership. I've gone Panthers to do a bit of a, get back and come in at second. I've got the Dolphins coming in at third, and I have the Eels at 4th as well. I'm pretty high on the Eels this year. I just, as long as Mitch Moses, caveat, as long as Mitch Moses is healthy for the majority of the season. Yeah, I think they'll be all right. Ringer, what's your top 4, mate?
Yeah, mate, it's so difficult, isn't it, as we've seen from our accountability episode at the end of last year. Like, I think I had the Raiders winning the spoon and they fucking end up winning my premiership or something ridiculous like that. So do not fucking follow me into this. But after changing this list about 78 million times, I've come up with the Panthers winning the minor premiership, the Roosters second, us third, and Sharks. The reason I've got us in third is just that origin period. I think there's going to be a period of this year, whether it's origin, whether Renault gets hurt, whether someone, there's going to be, because we're going to lose so many players to origin this year. Paddy, Payne, Staggs, Walsh.
Yeah.
Staggs, definitely. Gammett.
He has to be.
He has to be there. And there's potentially X if the, does he fit under the rules now and stuff like that?
Actually,
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does, because he doesn't qualify for the 13-year rule, 13-year-old.
Perfect.
So I think he's sort of still the same.
Okay. Well, that's good then. That's good for us. But yeah, so I think there's going to be big impacts around that period. And even if we don't have injuries, it'd be stupid if we're in a relatively good position on the ladder to not rest some players after Origin, because, Jesus, they played a lot of football considering grand final, World Club Challenge, a lot of travelling, give them a break, Madge. So that's why I've put us in third, mate. And, yeah, I just think Panthers, after, having a pretty down year considering on their standards last year where they were in last position for a period, I think they're just going to be, better than a lot of these bottom sort of 13 teams, to be fair.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good. I mean, it sounds like excuses, but we'll forgive you, mate. But yeah, I put Broncos at the top mainly. Like our depth this year, I feel like I'm not as worried as I was last year.
Yeah.
Like a Tom
Big.
Duffy will be able to get us through the Origin period. I don't know what Ezra does. That's to be seen, sort of thing. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Langers, what about you, mate? What have you got?
Mate, I've obviously gone Broncos number one. She's a calculated dream, the back-to-back, giving Payne and Reynolds the send-off that they both deserve. So I'm definitely all about it. Yeah, like you said, we've got the depth. Hopefully we can gel during that Origin period. But unfortunately, the Broncos, they are the favourites. And, we do love to just shit the bed when we are the favourites, don't we?
Yeah.
So hopefully that is not a repeat this year. So I've gone Broncos 1, Panthers 2, as much as that pains me. But, it's the Panthers. You got Cleary, they've lost guns every year and they've gone back to back to back to back. So, you got to, they are still a threat. If Cleary's playing for them, they're a threat, So I've gone Panthers 2. I've gone Storm 3 because it's the Storm, it's the Storm. They're going to make the 8, but just an absolute bed shitting.
Yeah.
Muncie, you got Hughes, you got all the big boys still going off them. It just seems like, I think you said it last year, Brito, if someone in the Storm first grade goes down or whatever, just another star just replaces and just kills it. So, their depth is, something to behold as well. So I've gone them for the 3. And I've gone the Roosters for 4. Just throwing it up there and just seeing what happens, mate. So that's my top 4.
Yeah, fair enough. What do you reckon, Thoroughbreds? Are we on the money there or not? Let us know in the comments. Now we're getting into the bottom of the top 8. Who sneaks in? The Gronk, he's gone the Dolphins at 5, Sharkies at 6, Storm at 7, and the Roosters sneaking in at 8. I've gone the Storm at 5, Roosters at 6, Raiders at 7, and the Rabbitohs just sneaking in into there. Ringer, mate, how do you see that bottom top 8 forming?
Yeah, mate, I reckon 5 to 14 is fucking difficult this year because it's a flip of the coin. I reckon there's going to be a game between a lot of them, and for and against is going to play a big part. So for 5 for me, I've got the Bulldogs. Bulldogs, Storm, Dolphins, Raiders, who rounds out my top 8. Bulldogs, I think, are only going to improve from last year. Galvin, if he decides if they're going to gel, he's going to be good. I still just don't think they're as good as the teams I've put above them. So obviously, Storm, I think the depth is a problem for them this year. With Ellie Katoa out, and especially now that Xavier Coates is missing a long period. There's a bit of a, there's going to be some games that they just don't. It's the Storm. They could win the minor premiership, no doubt. But, I'll just put them there as, I just think there's going to be teams that have better chances this year. Dolphins in 7th, I think they make their top 8 finals debut this year. An absolutely electric back line with Isaiah Katoa at the front. If they can keep Flegler and Gilbert, who they haven't had on the field, even though they've been pretty much their marquee forward signings, they haven't had them be able to play for them. I think they're in for a big year. It's just going to be hard for them to keep that consistency. And then the Raiders, mate. Sticky put a lot of belief into them kids last year, and I know they lose Fogarty, but I think they're just going to grind out enough wins to keep them in the 8. I think they're just going to beat enough of the teams below them to sort of keep them there, if you know what I mean. Which obviously, dickhead, they're 8th and everyone else is below them. But some of the thoroughbreds might pick up what I'm putting down. I just think they're just going to be a bit more grindy and consistent.
Yeah, they'll win the games that are close, sort of thing.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah. All right, what about you, Langers? How you got the bottom top 8?
Yeah, I've got Dolphins in 5, same as Gronk. I'm mirroring what Ringers just said. I think they're going to be able to put a decent team on the pitch, and hopefully the injuries won't smack them around too hard this season. You got Herbie Farnworth coming back, arguably the best center in the world. He is just electric, that man. You got obviously Selwyn Cobbo. He's gone over to the Dollies. He's looking fit. He's looking good as well. You got Katoa. He's going to be the next best thing in the next couple of years. You'd think he's going to be the halves for New South Wales in a few years. Then into 6, I've gone the Eels as well. I think the Eels will hopefully make the top 8. They've been sort of bottom of the rung for a while now, so it would be good to see them sort of back in them. They got a good spine this year, and it would be good to see Jonah Prezett, see what he can sort of do, seeing as he's coming over to the Broncos next year. So that'll be good to see. But yeah, Eels definitely will ride on whether Moses stays injury free. I think they will probably go to shit pretty quickly without him at the helm and, directing traffic and whatnot. But we'll see. In the 7th, I've gone the Bulldogs. I think, they'll do enough to get in the 8. You're going to field a good team. Like you said, Lockie Galvin has been pegged as, the best thing since sliced bread for his age. And we haven't really seen it last year when he did go over to the Bulldogs. If anything, he'd upset the apple cart. They were on a roll, and then he came in and they just started to shit the bed left, right, and centre. So hopefully, you think with an off season, a bit more team gelling, team bonding sessions, all that sort of stuff, they might be dangerous for sure. And then in the 8, I've gone the Sharkies, rounding out the 8, mate. I think, you've still got your Trindles and Hines and, Fanua Blake. I'd hate to be in front of that man when he's steamrolling at you. So, between them, I think they'll be able to still do a number on, those sort of bottom dwelling teams this year, mate.
Yeah, Sharkies are interesting. And I'll get to mine soon. They always seem to stumble in. I know they had a better final series 2025, but I think they got a little lucky with who they had to play, and then obviously unlucky for the final game. But anyway, we'll see how this all pans out. All right, so the winner of the losers, I guess, who just misses out on a top 8 berth here. The Gronk has gone. Rabbitohs have just missed out in 9. Raiders have dropped out of the 8. Titans in 11th, and then the Warriors at 12th. Now, I've gone Sharkies at 9. I feel like this is a year that they sort of, although if you're looking at the trial matches, Trindle and Hines are actually doing quite well. So we'll see how that all pans out. But again, their depth is a little bit to be questioned. Bulldogs then at 10. I think they've fucked it up.
It's a big chance.
Toby Sexton, there's a reason the Bears grabbed him. Yeah. Sexton be getting grabbed by the Bears, and then Reed, I don't understand why they would get rid of Reed. I mean, the guy that they've replaced him with, I don't think he would make 9 at any other team. He'd be a 14 at best. Galvin, to me, isn't a 7, and they're going to try and force him to be a 7 very early on in his career when he's clearly a 5'8". Yeah, I think they shit the bed, and I think they finished 10th. Warriors, I've got them at 11 purely because of the injuries that they're starting the season with. Their main playmaker, Metcalf, is out for quite a while into the season, and I just don't think that they recover from there. And then I've got the Sea Eagles, which, to be fair, after watching the trial today, 12th is very generous of me to do that. But Ringer, mate, what are you doing, mate? What's your 9 through to 12?
Yeah, pretty much. What do you call it? Interchangeable for me. This part of the ladder. But I've gone in 9th. I've got the Rabbits, 10th Eels, 11th Titans, 12th Warriors. After trials, I reckon we could change a few of that. I think the Rabbits. I think all of these teams are going to cause problems.
Yeah.
For good teams early in the season, I just feel like they're teams that are one injury away from being on the back foot. So for the Rabbitohs, if Latrell goes down, Dave Fafita, one of their props, like they just haven't got that real depth. Cameron Murray again. For the Eels is the same. I've put them down there just because they are very thin in the backs now that Lomax is gone. They're thin in their second rows. They're very thin at half. So pick or choose one of them to get injured. They're in a bit of strife. Titans, I think they're going to have a boom start to the year just because new coach, all the re-signings, but I think they're just going to get a little bit of fatigue coming into the back end. And then the Warriors for the same reason. I think they're going to start well. They're going to be dangerous. Like they're going to be dangerous all year, but I think they're just the same thing. They're just an injury away from, going on a losing streak that puts them into that top of the bottom eight, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Yep. What about you, Langers? How you got it?
Mate, I have gone the opposite of Gronk, who's gone Rabbits 9, Raiders 10. I've gone Raiders 9, Rabbits 10. So a little bit sort of close, a little bit different. Yeah, I think the Raiders will just miss out on the top 8 this year. But yeah, so Raiders 9, Rabbits 10. I've gone the Wars in 11. And I've actually gone on the highest of the 4 of us. I've put the Cowboys in 12. Because I love a Tommy Dearden. You can't count that man out. Like he's gone strength to strength. He's a gun player. You got that grub Mahoney in 9 now. So, he's going to be doing some niggling. He's going to be doing all that sort of stuff. The Cowboys fans are going to love that. You're playing for the Bulldogs, you hated it. You hated him, but the Cowboys are going to love that sort of shit. And Reed's going to do it. So, yeah, it'd be good to see the Cowboys sort of go, have a few other teams below them this season. Hopefully they will. But I have just noticed, we're looking at, our 4 picks side by side. We've all put the Rabbits either between 8th and 10th. So we're all around that sort of middle of the pack. Same for the Wars. We've either put them both in 11 or both in 12. So, there's a few there that are going to be, around that sort of mark. Raiders, the highest was you, Brito, put him in at 7th. The rest of us are 8th, 9th, and 10th. So, there's a few teams there that we are all agreeing that they're just going to be middle of the pack. They're going to call a bit of resistance to a few teams, but I think they'll fall short, come, like I said, the back end of the season. With the Wars, old Metcalf, he's not back for a little minute, is he? Round 7? I think it was.
I think it is, yeah.
I feel like
and Tamari broke his leg. So
Oh, shit, that's right too, yeah.
So, 2 halves gone, poor buggers.
I feel like they will struggle a little bit until, at least Luke comes back. So
I tell you what, Tanner Boyd has been a shrewd signing for them for this year anyway, because all their halves are hurting, and there's nothing wrong with Tanner. I reckon he's a good player, so he'll get a bit of time to have a crack.
Yeah, and you got Khan Pereira. He's gone over to the Wars now.
Yeah.
We all know he can find a try line. So it's one of them. They'll beat some teams, they'll lose to some teams. As what the footy season does every year. So. Yeah, mate, 9, 10, 11, 12, Raiders, Rabbits, Wars, and the Cowboys.
Yeah, sweet. All right, we'll get into the Wooden Spooners to see who's contesting that. Good old Gronk has put his Cowboys at the top of the pile of shit. Then he's gone Tigers, Manly, Dragons, and the Knights to go back to back. He's not the only one, I can guarantee you that. I basically looked at all the teams and went, which one of you guys is an absolute media circus at the moment, and which one raises more questions than answers? And that's where I started my bottom. And so with that, I've got the Tigers at 13. I think they're the best out of the ones that just, if that shit kicks off mid-year where the board is causing a ruckus or they want to, I can see it going into a shit fight again. The Gold Coast, I've got them there mainly because, new coach, Hannay, but again, the fatigue at the end of the season, maybe they just, fall short. They get an injury. God heaven forbid he doesn't because we need him for Origin, but Tino gets injured or something like that. So I've got him there. Then I went Cowboys because of the coach with Toddy Payton. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I'm very confused about his mindset there. Dragons because nepotism is real and it exists down there in Wollongong. And then the Knights, and to be fair, I was hoping I didn't put the Knights at last, and then I watched the trials and I was like, I've got no choice but to put the Knights at last, sort of thing. Just lopsided cap. I don't know. I love Sandon Smith. I think he's pretty good, but yeah, watching those trials there, Brown didn't exactly light it up for me. So hopefully they get to Vegas, and I've got the Cows rolling over them. So yeah, that's all you need to know. They'll probably end up losing now. So yeah, that's where I've got mine. What about you, Ringer, mate?
Yeah, mate, I've gone a little bit different. It's the same sort of teams, I guess, but I've got Tigers. I've got Cowboys at the top of the shit heap for the same reasons as you. We'll get into that as a hot take soon. Tigers, they're the same. They're a team that are going to be a lot better. They are improving, but they are so thin on the ground, and you know that there is someone in that boardroom just waiting to knife this season for some unknown reason.
Yeah.
Dragons, for the same reason. They just haven't got the cattle, I don't think, when you look at the players they lost. And I think Val Holmes is out for a fair while.
Yeah.
Tore a hamstring or something. So, pretty much their main strike weapon and kicker gone for a while. So that's going to put them pretty high on that most losses list. Now, I've swapped this over compared to everyone else. I've got the Knights second to last and Manly last.
Yeah.
This is the year of the Manly wooden spoon. They've never won one. And yeah, I know. Hello Sport's going to, if they ever see this, probably come to my house and stab me in the guts. But I'm looking at pure history, right? And the wooden spoon goes to the team with the most losses. So buys in that's why they have buys to give 2 points to the buy. So it's the team with the most losses gets a wooden spoon. I see a point in the season where Ponga's healthy, Brown's healthy, Sandon Smith's healthy, Dylan Lucas is healthy, Fletcher Hunt's healthy. There's Fletcher Sharp too. There's enough Phoenix Crossland. There's enough players there to get them 3 or 4 wins, like in a 6 or 8 week period. For Manly, if the attitude doesn't pick up from last year, they're also having boardroom dramas.
Yeah.
Anthony Seibold took the Broncos in his second year to a wooden spoon, the Broncos, with the cattle that he had. He's currently at Manly with a paper-thin Tom Trbojevic. They haven't signed a single player. They've lost every single good junior. They're still paying half of bloody Schuster's wage, and he's not even getting a start at the Rabbitohs. You know what I mean? It's just a clusterfuck. And I think all of that is going to collapse into this year. And unfortunately, I've got Manly on getting wooden spoon and Knights dragging themselves off the bottom.
I mean, you can't argue with that. I can't argue with that logic. And I'll be putting $10 on Manly wooden spoon. So you've convinced me. What about you, Langers? What do you got?
I've got basically the same, which is good to see that, our bottom 5 are relatively the same across the board. But yeah, I've gone Tigers in 13. I think they are going to be, better than some of the other shitter teams, but I still don't think they are going to do it. But it's saying that, I think everybody saw, was it Mukassini, the winger? Holy shit.
Yeah. Almost retired Dylan Edwards.
Steamrolled Dylan Edwards. You love to see it, eh? Right. You love to see that ball-headed fuck get absolutely pancaked out. It was good to see.
Yes.
Jesus.
So yeah, after the Tigers, I've gone Titans.
Respectfully,
in 14.
Of course.
Yeah, respectfully, of course. Yeah, Dylan, love your work, mate. Then I've gone Manly into 15. I don't know why. Mainly just because I think Dragons and Knights are going to be more shit. This is just who's going to be more shit, not who's going to be better sort of thing. So I've gone Manly at 15. But yeah, like you said, Ruben Garrett can't do it all, So
Exactly.
coach, old Tom, he is just get out of bed in the wrong way in the morning and his career is done. Which is a shame because he is an absolutely phenomenal player and just riddled with injuries. You feel for the lad. But yeah, I've gone Manly at 15, I've gone Dragons at 16, and I've gone the Knights at 17 because, you can't, it's not looking great for any of those sort of teams. But in saying that, after Ringer's little spiel there, the Knights do have some strike weapons, I do think that they have definitely paid overs for Ponga and Brown. I think they have wasted a lot of their salary cap by giving them, 1.2 each, which is crazy. But anyway, if they do get it all together, then they can beat teams and they can upset teams. But from what we've sort of seen so far, not great. And another thing with Manly, they got Kobe Hetherington, don't they? So
very true, very true.
Basically one of the best on the field. So we're going to miss Kobe this year. But I don't think he's going to be able to do too much to, put Manly into the top 8. But we'll soon find out. It'll only a couple of months away, and we might be eating our words like we were with the Raiders last year, boys. So
100%.
See how we go.
I mean,
see how we go.
Another thing with the Knights is they got Holbrook, and he had the Titans there for a bit, and I don't know. Hopefully, it's got to be better than AOB. It was a bit funny that AOB went over to the Bulldogs, and anyway, we'll see how that all drags out. But could be right. Could be the year of the spoon down on the northern beaches. All right. I've done a bit of chat. I just hit chat GPT. I said, mate, let us know what you think. Search the internet, see what everyone's chatting about. What are they saying on the socials? And give me 1 through to 17, please. So, Broncos fans rejoice. They've got us top of the pops. Now, that might be because they know that chat knows that I'm pretty heavy Broncos bias. If it knows what's good for it, it's put us there. It's gone Panthers as well, second. They've gone Storm third as well. So whoever put the Storm third, that was you, Langers. You'd be happy about that.
Yes,
Roosters in fourth, Sharks in fifth, Cowboys. Now this was a surprise. They've got the Cowboys in sixth. So good stuff. Their excuse was high variance team, apparently. So
that means something.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Parramatta Eels in seventh, and rounding out the top 8 is the South Sydney Rabbitohs. For 9, they've got Newcastle Knights, so that's why you should definitely not follow this. Chat needs to learn a little bit more. But then I've got the Raiders in 10, Manly in 11, 12 for the Dolphins, 13th for St. George, Gold Coast Titans at 14, West Tigers 15, Bulldogs at 16. Nobody tell Elmo that. And then, unfortunately, Warriors fans turn away. They've got you guys winning the spoon. So we'll see how that checks out. And then for the next season, I'll get up chat and tell them to do better if they went horrific.
What you should do, Brito, is send the exact prompt that you put in to a non-Bronco supporter and see what it spits out.
Yeah. It would be the opposite. It would be Warriors winning or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. All right, we'll get into a little bit more here. So we've got our highest try scorer, highest point scorer, our hot take, Daily M winner, and our not so hot take. Don't know if we're going to do anything this season when it comes to accountability at the end of the season. Maybe, eventually we'll get around to doing something. I don't know. We've got to raise some money for something or shave some heads or whoever. Who knows? We don't know. But we'll figure that out. If anyone's got any good ideas, comment away and we might look at it and go, that seems like a bit of fun. So nothing that could end up altering our life physically or emotionally, though. Please. So, yeah. All right. Highest try scorers. Gronk likes the look of Josiah Karapani. out on that edge. So he's gone the highest try scorer with Josiah. I have almost agreed with them, but I think Shiba, he could do it, and unfortunately that means Josiah gets starved of a few tries. But yeah, I've pulled up one position short, and I've gone Gamat for the highest try scorer of the year. That might be one-eyed bias as well, but I mean the Gronk's gone to Broncos, so make that as what you will. Langers, you had a biggie. You had a big one. You want to tell the thoroughbreds what happened?
I had Xavier Coates, and then he decided to just blow his leg off, didn't he? And he's done forever. So had to rethink my strategy there a little bit. So I was umming and ahhing, don't know what to do, and I've landed on Josh Adokar. Now, I'm only doing that because I'm thinking if the spine of the Eels click, Josh is fast. We all know that. The old chip over into the corner, he can run into it. He can do his little show. I agree with you about Karapani and Shiba. I think they're both going to go over for multiple meat pies, but I think they're going to starve each other for being number one. So I think you're sort of looking at a team that will always go to a certain sort of player, and I think that, chip over the top or bomb downfield and let Adokar's pace do the work for him sort of thing might come into play, hopefully. So, yeah, mate, I've gone Josh Adokar for the highest try scorer.
Now, Ringer, you've got a bit of a dilemma here, mate. I know you're giving yourselves a couple of options, but you can only pick one. So
only
which one have
mate.
you gone?
Yeah, well, I'll backstory it for you because I was going to go Shiba too originally. See, and I thought, no, don't be stupid because I end up thinking exactly what Langers just said. Josiah and Shiba, if you were to pick a centre wing combination for most tries, I guarantee it's going to be them too. Yeah. And then Shiba comes out and Nelly scores 4 in the first fucking game. I was like, oh, shit. But yeah, so I'm going to go with Sally Cobbo. I think if he plays outside of Herbie Farnworth, I think it's going to be Tri-City. I think Herbie's going to put it on a platter for him. I had a couple options here. I was tossing up between Gamet, Sam Stonestreet, and Sally, but I've gone for Selwyn because even if he's outside hammer, it's Tri-Time City. And with that back line that the Dolphins have, and I think when they get their back up, they're going to put some scores on some teams, and that left side is going to be pumping. So I'm going Sally Cobbo.
Yeah, nice. That's fair. I had Selwyn in my super coach because I just, with Herbie, who knows, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. That could be the very reason why they're sitting in the top 4, that pairing sort of thing. So
what's good to see in our highest try scorer list is that other than Coates getting injured, we've got 4 Broncos, essentially. Cobbo and Coates both were Broncos. So we've done really well there as a panel.
We've taken the blinkers off, mate.
Yeah, exactly. They might be playing for someone else, but I know them.
But they were Bronco ones.
Righto, we got the highest point scorer now, and the Gronk loves to live life on the edge, and he's gone to Latrell Mitchell. Hoping for a full season out of him. I've gone Adam Reynolds, and
also hoping for a full season out of him.
yeah. Very, very hoping. And one of the reasons why I went this, and this is just purely because I'm a fucking one-eyed Bronco, is he's very quickly creeping up on the point scoring record with Broncos and whatnot. And if Shiba can put it on and we can get a couple of tries and we go really well this year, as Reno could give it a nudge before he bows out. So a little bit of hope with that one more than anything. But it had to be a kicker. Like, you got to think it's got to be a kicker and whatnot. So he was the best one out of it. Ringer, I'll start with you, mate. You've got yourself some options, but which one did you end up picking?
Yeah, well, I'm still no closer. I've been looking at it all episode going, okay, that one, and then next minute I'm there. But I've landed on Sam Walker, mate. I think the Roosters are going to have a banging season. I think it was pretty evident on that trial yesterday that it is Sam Walker's Roosters.
Yeah.
Daly's just playing. He's like, good on him. He's playing a role that the team needs, which is, I'm going to be on this right-hand side and I'm going to set up whatever you want me to. And what better than the former Queensland halfback to take a back seat and just run an edge for you? How good is that? Bloody typical Rooster sombrero shit. But I think Sammy Walker's he's gonna score a lot of tries. Being on that side, he looked pretty close the other day, and he's going to kick goals. So I'm backing that he had his injury season last year. And, yeah, the Roosters are going to put some cricket scores, I think, on some lower teams this year. And Sammy Walker's going to be the beneficiary of it. And he might not play Origin. That's the only other thing too. He may not. So, he might play those middle games.
Yeah, true. And he's going to have DCE there chance all year as well. Like, he's not going to go swapping out his halves. The other bet, though, with Moses, that was a good shout too, I thought. Kicking and scoring goals as well, but tough one there.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you?
Only reason I didn't go him, only reason I didn't go Moses is because of Origin. In the end, that's what split him for me. So
fair.
I was just hoping if Dearden and Munson are fit, well, they're probably going to be our halves and Sammy Walker misses out. Whereas Moses, if Moses doesn't play halfback for the Blues this year, fucking give up. Honestly.
Yeah, we've opened up the rules for you so you can get more recruits.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Langers?
Yeah, this was sort of, I don't know. There's so many different options for this one. So I sort of brought it down to three sort of key factors, which I think will be really determining on who gets the highest point scorer. So obviously they've got to be a kicker. That's pretty not explanatory. Second one, they're also going to have to get some meat pies this year. You can't just rely on your kicking alone. You're also going to have to score some tries. And then the third one is obviously you got to be part of a team that's going to win, that's going to actually score the points for you to kick and for you to get the opportunities to score those tries. So with all those three, I've gone Jermaine Asako because the lad is accurate with a boot. He's probably one of the all-timers, with conversion rate. Can score a meat pie as well. And, I think the Dollies are going to go really well this year. So all of those three, mate, I've gone Jermaine again. He won it last year,
No, the year before.
Oh, year before.
Who did win? Who did win last
He's always up there because, like I said, he's always accurate with the boot and he gets some meat pies. So, he's
exactly.
You'd think, bar injury, he'll be up there again.
I think he's won it 3 times. There you go.
Right.
I think he won it at the Bronx and then twice. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I said 3 times the other day. There was a stat getting around on one of the preseason games.
You're right, though. Last year he did win it again. I know he won. He got the highest try scorer as well one year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And he scored that as well. So, good stuff. All right.
I would like yours to come off, though, Adam Reynolds last season. If we can have a blinder and he just starts absolutely nailing, because that bloke is accurate as well. 2 from 5 in, those freezing conditions. It's not like him, so we'll forgive him for that. But
so he just averaged 42 points a game and he just kicks every goal. Thanks.
Perfect.
Easy.
That's it. Easy.
Perfect.
Done.
I'm jumping that. And then, is he in with a sniff to beat Cameron Smith for all-time point scorer, or does he sort of need another season? Because he's not far behind him, but he's not close either.
Yeah, I think he's like 315 behind or something at the moment. So it would take a big couple of years.
But Reynolds, he can get around a meat pie as well. He can get on the line as well, and he's very accurate with the boot. So hopefully, if the Broncos can do what we're all hoping that they can do and just put some absolute cricket scores on some teams, then Reynolds will be walking away with 20 points a game, hopefully. So soon find out. It's exciting times, Thoroughbreds. It's good to be in this era of new season coming at us.
Definitely.
He's currently 262 points behind Cameron.
That's not too
so
bad.
he could.
Okay.
How
much did Asako make? How many points did he make as the highest. It would have been high.
285, I think it was.
Jesus, righto.
Hold on.
Hey.
You might be onto something here.
Imagine coming into the end of the year and Renault's like 40 points behind. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Let me just. Yeah, 278 points Jermaine scored last year.
Yeah,
so you're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance. Yeah. I mean, a couple of meat pies in there, but I mean, Renault's not shy of a meat pie here and there.
No, exactly
right. Watch
like
this
I
space.
said, 42 points average a game. It's easy.
Yeah, that's it. I wonder if there's a market for that. We might wrap around that as well. Absolute degenerate sort of stuff here.
Degenerate.
Well, let's have a look. Well, he's just Adam Reynolds is paying $10 for the highest point scorer in 2026.
Honestly, that's not enough and not juicy enough to have a go at.
I know, right? Much. It's not too bad. Jermaine is favourite again at $3.10. So yeah,
that's short.
Yeah,
Sam Walker on that list.
He is. He's $8. So
yeah. Okay.
See how we go with that. All right, now we get down to a bit of juicy shit. Hot takes. We're gonna run our hot takes now. Gronk. This one's completely fucking left center. Literally left center. Ero Daly M center of the year. I don't know where that came from. That I was like, holy shit. Okay. But and it is a bit of a hot take because look at the list of, Herbie Farnworth and Katoni Staggs, Gemmett, all them.
Latrell.
Yeah. So there's a fair bit there. But that's the Gronk, and that's what the Gronk reckons. So too bad we can't bet on that. Now, mine.
Yeah.
I put this team in the top 8. And we always know that they turn up. And every time you doubt them, they show you why you shouldn't. They were undefeated in round 1 games for fucking decades. Everyone should know that by now. It's the Melbourne Storm. I've got them to miss the 8 purely because it just seems like a bit of a fucking shit fight down there. And I don't think that everyone has... I think everyone's underestimated them losing Dave to us, to their CEO, to come up to us.
Yeah,
I don't think that they've quite recovered from that. Bellamy's pulled out of the New South Wales, what's he, a leadership role? Assistant down there. He's pulled out. I'm thinking maybe to focus on Melbourne a bit more. Why is the Melbourne Storm bothering to go to court over Zach Lomax? It's very un-Melbourne-like. Yes, they normally get their man, but they normally don't fuck around getting their man. It's like, hey, do you want to be with us? No? Okay, fuck off. Or is there any resistance in this? Yes, there is. All right, we're not going to bother. Don't worry. We'll go over here, sort of thing. So, the fact that they've lost poor old Katoa for the season, that shortens up their stocks there a little bit. They've got a couple of they lost Pappenhausen as well, so they have to play. They have to play with the life after him. I don't know. I think maybe Origin's going to be a bit tough on them this year as well, and they just won't recover. So, and like one injury to Hughes or Munster, and see you later, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I've got Melbourne to miss the 8. That's my absolute hot take. Langers, what do you got, mate?
Mate, I've gone the Raiders going from minor premiers last year to missing the top 8 this year. I don't know how hot of a take that is, but I think the Raiders will do just not enough to, I think, I've put them in 9th. So, I've gone from them winning the minors to outside the top 8 this year, mate. That's my hot take.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just you doubling down on your wooden spoon from last year, wasn't it? You just fuck you guys.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've got two contenders from last year dropping out of the 8 so far. Ringer, what are you going with? What do you got,
mate? I've got the year of the sacked coach for me. I've got both Todd Payton and Anthony Seibold both being resold before round 15. I like the Todd Payton chat. It's been sort of on again, off again. They're not happy up there. The fact that they, and I can't blame them. Like, they keep cup chairing Jake Clifford as if, and they keep trying to shoehorn poor little Purdue into being a half when he just isn't at the moment.
No.
Jake Clifford's the best half at the team, but he's, as Gronk said, he's a fucking fringe first grader. And then they sell Tom Duffy to us. It's like, what the fuck is going on up at that club?
Yeah.
So I think he's gone. You shouldn't be doing that in a team with Dearden, Drinkwater, Nanai,
Cotter.
there's Cotter, Reece Robson for the last few years, Tomalolo, Tuolani. Like, there's too many good players there for them to play as shit as they have. And then, Seabold, I surprised he's lasted that long. I'm sure if Bozo Fulton was still alive, he would be fucking kicking rocks out the flat somewhere, like, guaranteed. So I think that's gonna fall in a big heap too. It's just too much stupid. Like, and we all love the Hello Sport boys, and that's where you get all this information about players that they've let go, players that won't re-sign or haven't signed. Like, they can't sign anyone to go to Manly, one of the more proud and historic clubs in the comp. Like, and with players like Tommy Turbo, Jake Turbo, like, they've got some good. Anyway, so I think both of them are going to get resold, and this isn't on the sheet, but I reckon Willie Peters is one of the front runners to come back.
Yeah,
after
right.
his whole KR success.
Yeah, right.
Seeing that the other day, I reckon that's added 2 sacked and 1 hired. There you go. If that's not a hot take, I don't know what is.
Oh, Willie's got to be a shoe-in for the English job, yeah?
Has to
surely.
be. Has
surely.
To
Anyway,
be. Unless Wayne decides to do it again.
Yeah, true. But no, I like the Seabold chat. He can hang around just long enough to give Manly their first wooden spoon, just like he did to the Broncos. He's got form. And we can then just point and go, it was him, it wasn't us, and we can move on into the sunset with that sort of thing. All right, sweet. All right, that's hot takes. We'll see if any. I love how you put a timestamp on it too, mate. Round 15. Done and dusted. Get it out of there. Yep. Righto.
Yep. Round the origin period. Piss off.
Fair enough. Daily M winners now. We've got a pretty wild selection here that's going on by the looks of it. Very diverse, which is good. Gronk has gone Izzy Katoa up there at the Dolphins. Good shout, I think, especially if they go well, which we are all predicting that they will. So that'll be good. It's always dangerous with me because of how one-eyed I am. And we are full of players that will steal Dally M points off one another. It's not like a Kalen Ponga where he's going to take maximum points every week sort of thing. But I've got Hakeem Haas winning the Dally M. He's the best prop. He's 5-time best forward, best Bronco every year. Like, I feel like this is like one of the things that he can then tick off as a Bronco and then move on when he moves over to the South. I feel like, he could join it together this season. Prove to the haters, he quit the Broncos. He's not in it. We've got a couple in the comments saying that he should be playing Q Cup for the rest of the season because he's not loyal, all that sort of shit.
Don't do that to Q Cup teams. Jesus.
Absolutely diabolical chat going on there. But but I've got Hakeem Haas winning Dally M. I feel like he could do it. So who am I? Langers, what are you doing?
Mate, I'm with you on the chat that Broncos are going to be stealing Dally M points off each other. Haas does Haas shit. It's why we love him. We glaze that man damn near every game for well-deserved reasons. So you think he would be up there. I've gone to Tommy Dearden because I fucking love that man. I think, he's great, and he's just undervalued at the Cowboys, and hopefully if Reynolds retires, We've got a little bit of money in the bank. Hopefully the Broncos can make a play for the man, because I'd love to see him in the 7 in Broncos. That would just be, oh, mate, I'd get that 20 knocked out in 3 days as well, if I saw that. So. No, yeah, mate, I've got a Tommy
That's
Dearden.
my conspiracy theory. Have we got a conspiracy theory? Because that's why I think we signed Tom Duffy. I think Dearden said, I'm coming back to the Broncos after we sack Payton. You go there and you start getting into the systems because we can partner in the halves.
Ooh.
Tinfoil.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I like it. Yeah.
Also, unconfirmed rumours that Langers is doing a Gus Gould in the media and trying to woo Tommy Dearden without ever meeting him back to the club.
Bro,
if I see him on the streets,
he's doing God's work. God's work.
Yeah, we'll see him on the streets of Townsville, mate. He's not safe from me, that's for sure. I'll be on that.
It's getting 20 knocked out of him.
yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Follow the gravy. I'll do whatever you need to do.
Clip that up.
Righto, Ringer, mate. What have you got? You got another? You fucking doubled up here again.
Yeah, this has been in my what I sent to you, Brito, for this accountability was what's been sitting in my notes folder on my phone for like all off season. So we can bump Reece off for that exact reason that we've been talking about. Payne's going to take points. Ezra's going to have games where he takes points. Breno, Paddy, like it's going to be. We're too awesome, which is oh no. But so I've got oh no. So for that reason though of who's going to hog all the points in a team, I've gone Mitch Moses. In a team where he's lost Zach Lomax, his only competitor, if they go well, is Isaiah Yongi, probably. Could take a few points. And from what I seen the other day, they've got a lot of good goers, but no one that's going to take the shine off Mitch Moses. So that's who I've got. And honestly, if they're going to shaft Nathan, or at least give him the 6th jersey for New South Wales, they're going to want to justify it by saying Mitch Moses is killing it. So I'm going with Mitch Moses, mate.
All right.
I wish you could bet on it.
Very good. Yeah, I wish. Fuck that guy.
That one. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm sure they'll bring it back online. Surely they can do it away. One day. Get it done. Yeah. Righto. So now our not so hot take. So the whole purpose of not so hot take, this will be the basis of where we do put our nuts on the line eventually, and we'll say, righto, whatever competition we're running, whatever challenge it is, this is what I think is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, you got to go, I don't know, do something, jump out of an airplane or some shit. I don't know. But anyway, the Gronk has gone a fairly decent one. 3 Queensland teams will play finals, and the Cowboys aren't going to be one of them, as forward depth will come back to hurt them. So you can see how loyal they are up there in North Queensland, where they eat their own. But that's what he's gone. So he thinks the Dolphins, the Titans, and the Broncos will play finals footy. I have gone that as well, but I've been very more pointing of Dolphins play their first final series. I think it's time. Yeah. I think hopefully they, Flegler stays on. They get their pack that they want. Molo's doing a pretty good run up there, I think it is. And then we've got, the threat of Cobbo and Herbie. Yeah. And I mean, if they do pull the trigger and put Hammer at the other center and you got Trey Fuller, I think they can go pretty deep. So 100% on that one. Ringer, what are you doing, mate? What's your not so hot take?
Well, I've got another bevy of choices here, but I'm going to stick with the Titans.
Yep.
And that sort of narrative where I think that the Titans are going to do essentially a dragon season. So the Titans are going to be top of the table, probably leading a couple of rounds before Origin.
Yep.
And then hit a wall. Origin period's going to hurt them. Maybe an injury, maybe just fatigue, and they're going to just miss out on the 8. I think it's just going to be one of them years where come out of the gates firing. They've got all the energy. They look so energetic in the preseason cup. They've got the cattle there this year, and they seem to be buying into what Josh Hannay's doing. Josh Hannay, I think, is going to be a great coach.
Yep.
Seems like a very calm individual. He's been around the Origin for a long time now. So I think they're going to fly out of the blocks. They're going to do great things. They're going to create headaches, but it's just going to get bit fatiguing on them, carrying that sort of pressure going into Origin, and they're like going to be 9th, 10th coming into the finals.
Yeah, nice. What about you, Langers, mate? What do you got?
Mate, I've gone the disparity between the top 4 and the bottom 4 teams will be one of the biggest gaps that we've seen in a long time. I think just looking
That's
at the
a good shout.
roster, well, you know, I truly believe it. You know, you just look at the roster that, you know, the teams are more than likely going to be throwing up. And, you know, I think there's going to be some absolute cricket scores this season. I think, you know, like the likes of the Knights and the Manly, if they do not gel, you know, if they don't do what Raiders did last year, I think they've got a long season ahead of them. And I think, you know, the likes of Broncos, Panthers, all sort of lads, I think they're absolutely going to demolish those sort of teams, eh? So, yeah, mate, I've gone, the disparity between the top 4 and the bottom 4 will be a big one.
Yeah, nice. No, good shit. All right, well, interesting to see how that all pans out. So make sure you tune back in at the end of the season where we go back through it and prove to you why we are the best professional amateurs at this stuff. So do not put any money on and then come back whinging about why you lost.
100%. That's on you, bro.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to get in. We've got Gronk here. And of course, what happened on Friday, right up the Gronk's alley. Absolutely loves it. So let's hear what the little bugger has got to say for himself.
Wake up, Brisbane. It's 2026, boys. Fuck me. You're over there, you're not just representing your new shit logo. You're representing the other one. The fucking whole NRL. And you shit the bed for us all. But I'll cut you some slack because essentially it is your first trial. But who knows, maybe the boys were just hooking into a bit too much English crumpet over there. But all in all, very entertaining game, actually. I was very impressed with Hull KR, the aggression and line speed, and let's face it, the English crowds are the best, and I wasn't mad that they won. But some standouts, Shiba was fucking phenomenal. He proved that it wasn't a fluke last year, and glimpses from Reece, but not to be. Anyway, hopefully the cows can bring home a win for fucking Queenslanders abroad. See ya.
Just had to put that last one in there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Just had, and he's playing the wooden spooners from last year. Come on, mate. We were playing premiers.
We haven't had the best run at overseas club games though, because the Broncos went down in Vegas.
Yeah,
they've gone down at the World Club Challenge. So come on, cows, do some fucking thing. If they get beaten by the Knights, give them the wooden spoon just on the field there. At an Allegiant.
Leave Peyton over there.
Yeah. You're a bus boy now. Bye. Go deal some cards.
Well, you got any chat for Gronk there, Langers?
Nah, it's just basically rinse and repeat for me and the Gronk, mate. I can't disagree with that man, eh? He's he's on the money. I like his chat about the English crowd. Like they would have been just chirping, which I probably think is why Ezra Mam did that whole, whole gesture, because he done shit decisions, those grubbers that were never on, and you would have just known that the Pommy spectators would have just absolutely pasted the lad because of it. So
100%.
He's probably trying to get a little bit of get back while doing that sort of gesture, but. Nah, mate, I can't disagree with me, mate. He's on the money, isn't he? So, I'm with him.
No, you can just hear the chant now with old Ezra Man. It'd be like, you look to the left, you look to the right, Ezra Man is pretty shite. Just stuff like that would have just been lighting up MKM Stadium. All right. We have the Thoroughbred voicemail here, sent through by Sheriff Dean. So we'll have a bit of a listen to that now.
Thoroughbreds, lads, random voice message because I figure nobody can be fucked typing or reading this time of the afternoon. But anyway, I digress. Been following your stuff for a while. Haven't been able to catch any of your more recent podcasts, but I had a thought watching the Australian game and seeing the stats out of the Broncos socials and the references to how good Reece Walsh played, and people independent of the Broncos and Queensland now referencing that Reece is the best player in the world. You probably covered it, you may have covered it, but you haven't. I had a thought today that Reece Walsh didn't make this year's Queensland team. So Queensland won the Origin Series, and the closest that Reece came to getting a Guernsey was as 18th man. So his back half of the year has been astronomical to go from being 18th man in the third Origin, like not even being able to crack the side to be the fullback for the final game when Ponga was out injured, to that phenomenal closeout of the season, best player of the series, easily, hands down, Clive Churchill medal winner, dominated that test match today. That's just mind-boggling. And I don't know if anyone's ever done that before, not be good enough to be selected for an Origin series and then own the competition for the rest of the year.
Yeah, good shout. I can't recall anyone that sort of done it either, but what are your thoughts there on that one, Ringer?
Yeah, well, you go back to the great runs. The only one I can sort of compare it to is maybe Ben Barber.
Oh, yeah.
Coming into the end of the year where he just tore teams apart. But you're dead right. You're pretty hard to miss out on Origin, not even get a shout when there is an injury, and then is obviously the first one picked for Australia and won a Clive by, a mile on our side. Like Ellie Katoa probably wins it if Melbourne win. But, I mean, Reece would have been hard up to not win it even if we lost. So he was that good. So it's pretty hard to disagree with anything the Thoroughbred said there.
100%. What about you, Langers?
Yeah, mate. I appreciate the insight and the chat and the mentality of the Thoroughbred. It's good to see, and it's good to see that it sort of reflects our sort of vision and sort of mentality around it as well. I do know that like around Origin, we were heavy on the saying rocks and diamonds from Reece. He definitely wasn't as polished as what he was, but yes, that tail end of the season, that finals run. Yeah, I can't remember a more exciting, just electrifying run that anybody has had in recent years. So yeah, mate, I'm definitely with him on that one. I think Reece's turnaround from and everybody was saying it, that whole rocks and diamonds thing. We said it multiple times. Basically, every media outlet was throwing that term around there because at the end of the day, it was accurate. We all know how good Reece was, but those errors and just stupid decisions that he was doing, at the start and middle of last season, it did definitely cost the Broncos, whether it was, by winning 13 plus to only winning 1-12 or to losing the game. So, yes, to that turnaround, I can't think of another person that came even close to what Reece pulled out of the whole final series. The Raiders, the Panthers, obviously the grand final. Like he deserved that Kangaroos jersey, and I can't see him doing stupid shit again and being injured. You think he's an absolute shoe-in for the Maroons jersey this year. So good to hear that someone else is also of that same mentality. It's good to see, good to hear that we are somewhat on the right track with our thought process and mentality and vision as well, mate.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you look at the stats that Reece did during that game against Hull KR there. And that's a decent game for anyone, standard sort of thing. Try assist, line break assist, 20 runs, 268 meters, I think it was. And then, got a bit of kicking in there as well. I think he had 6 tackle breaks or something like that. So pretty good for the first hit out. He has cleaned up from that origin period. He has definitely cleaned it up. That head knock that he copped from Suoli'i back in the day probably did do a lot more damage than what people are saying. And then Madge coming in at the right time probably injected the right mentality into him and kicked him off from there on. So, good chat. I love that, Thoroughbreds. And if you can do that more often, I would absolutely love that. It's good to see your insights and all that. Even if you don't want us to air it on the potty, I listen to them all the time. As soon as I get them, download them, send them to the group chat. Everyone has a talk about it and whatnot. So you can let us know if you don't want us to sort of put it on, if you want to be anonymous or whatnot. So yeah, it's good to listen. All right, that we have taken up far too much of your time, Thoroughbreds. Thank you for toiling through. If you still are listening to us, it's much appreciated, but it is accountability. Next weekend, we'll be doing our match preview for round 1 against the Panthers just before or just after Vegas is finished, actually. So I think we're looking at doing our Supercoach draft day on that same day as well. So she'll be NRL heavy that day. So I'll be in my element, which is good. So it'll be good. But we're all done. Let us know your thoughts. Who has the shittest take? Definitely. I'm sure you won't be backwards and coming forwards with that sort of shit. So, head over to the socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads. We're on them all. Give us a follow. Give us a like. We're on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So make sure that you are subscribed and following on all of those platforms. A like on our post costs you guys nothing. Really helps us with the algorithm. A comment gives us motivation. Also helps with the engagement with other Thoroughbreds. Sharing our content introduces the page to others, and hitting that favorite button where you can really helps us a lot as well. One last thing. We have a Supercoach and a tipping comp league. The league codes are pinned to our socials at the top there. So make sure you get around it. They'll be in the description as well for this podcast. That will be kicking off obviously in round 1. So get in now. There will be a prize at the end of the season for the winners. So you got to be in it to win it.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, other than that, bet responsibly, bet for fun and not for the rent. Be a contributor to society. Stay out of one another unless it's consensual. And we will gallop off into the week. Enjoy Vegas, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, Thoroughbreds.
Good on you, Thoroughbreds.